colors. While Polanco remained an offensive standout.
Quarterback runs it left, past the line of scrimmage, hurdling a man, in the clear to the 5, and end zone bound. Aaron Polanco with an Navy
In the
touchdown.
rain at SBC Park, victory was within reach. To seize the stay, the Mids would mount a goal line stand and an epic series. Late in the third quarter, a diving McLaren and a sliding Smith prevented a New Mexico touchdown. And as it turned out, it was one of several saving plays that reduced the Lobos to 4th and goal.
Hands on knees, Cox awaits. McKamey hands it off. Cox runs it to the right. Try to turn the corner outside. Kelly forces him out. He knocked over the pylon, but did not get in. It was Kelly who hit the pylon, and the Mids stopped him short of the goal line.
An effort that would propel Kelly onto the pages of Sports Illustrated as part of its all-bowl team put the offense back on the field, where its line led a long march into history. Starting from the 1-yard line, moving from the third quarter into the fourth. Time and again, the Mids converted. And on the 21st snap, they turned to what had worked once before.
Here with a play call. New Mexico shows blitz. Davis Motorson, who takes the toss, rolling to his right, pulls up. He's going to throw back to Polanco. He will leap to make the catch. He will bring it down at the 23 for the first down.
In the end, Navy had ground its way to an NCAA record, a 26-play marathon, consuming 14 and a half minutes before Blumenfeld's homecoming helped the Mids realize their California dream.
SBC Park. Blumenfeld kicks it off, left to right, far to near. Sails to the New Mexico 5. Walton on the run to the 15-20. Walton sprinting straight ahead. He has open room to the 40. A cut back to the 45, and he is brought down by the place kicker Blumenfeld.
With an open field tackle and a last-minute denial of any New Mexico miracle, a Navy team just 2 years removed from the futility of a 10-loss season could celebrate a milestone unequaled for nearly a full century. For the first time since 1905, the midshipmen had achieved a 10-win campaign.
Not deter the ceremonies or a record crowd for Navy and Air Force. For more than a decade, from the late 80s to the early part of the new century, Fisher DeBerry's Air Force squad dominated the Academy's national presence. Along the way, they captured 14 of 16 Commander-in-Chief trophies. 2 years ago, the Navy midshipmen wiped the slate clean and began to take hold of the in-season and postseason honors given to the academies. They did so with speed, precision, and consistency. Today, will a new era begin, or will the old one continue? We shall see. It's Air Force versus Navy, next on CSTV. Way from Navy's Bancroft Hall to the football stadium on Friday afternoon. Well, today, the Air Force Academy will attempt to take the first step in changing the trophy zip code back to Colorado Springs. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Scott Zolak. Boy, it's a great day for college football with rain in the area. And, Scotty, it is all about bragging rights, and it is all about the Commander-in-Chief trophy.
You talk about bragging rights. As a player, your juices are flowing. It's the adrenaline. You don't sleep the night before the game. But this is what you call defining games. After the season's over, you look back and say, that's the game that changed our season. It's Air Force that had the success in the 80s and 90s. But with Paul Johnson and Navy, the last two, Navy's had the bragging rights, Tom.
Well, it was a great game last year as Navy pulled it out. Let's head to New York with Adam Zucker and Game Tracker Live.
Hey, Adam Zucker here in the field house with you throughout today's Air Force Navy game. Remember, we've got more great action tonight on CSTV Football Nation. At 7:30, we kick things off with the Nissan College Football pregame show, leading up to the 8 p.m. kickoff between Tulsa and Southern Miss. Then postgame, Brian Curtis, Ray Buchanan, and I recap the whole day in college sports live on Game Tracker Live. That's all for now. See you at the half.
Hello, I'm Laura Bush. Hurricane Katrina.
This TV Football Nation is brought to you by Bud Light. Bright, crisp, clean, pure. Bud Light. And by Energizer. Keep going.
There we go.
Well, back here at the Naval Academy, we get set for what should be a great matchup between Navy and Air Force. It's the first time since 1997 that these two teams have faced each other here in Annapolis. Paul Johnson, the head coach of the Navy midshipmen, his team has won the last two Commander-in-Chief trophies, but Fisher DeBerry, he says, yes, we want to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy. I want to put it back into that new trophy case, but we also need a victory to make our team feel a little bit better about the season. Jim Allis is back deep to receive, joined there by Kirkwood. And we are underway. It's a low line drive, end-over-end kick. And out of the end zone we go. Air Force will have it on the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Sheehan Stanwyck. Hello, Sheehan.
Hello. Well, the state of Maryland was experiencing its worst drought in state's history in over a decade. But rain has changed that over the past couple days, and we've had torrential downpours. But down here on the field, things are dry, and that's because Navy just installed new field turf in this stadium. And luckily for both teams, because last year it was grass, and this would have been a mud bath.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Sheehan. In fact, one of the reasons why they did that is not only because of days like this, but also because it's become a multi-purpose facility once again. And Air Force will watch the flags get thrown right off the bat on 1st and 10. And we will wait and see who that penalty is going to go against. And we get introduced right away to our referee, Gerald Wright. Well, the false start will go against the tight end, number 86, Chris Evans, who was actually starting for Robert McMenemy, the senior. There's Sean Carney, the starting quarterback for Air Force, just a sophomore. He can not only run the football well, but he also passes the football with great efficiency.
Air Force may be having some trouble hearing him right now bark out the signals, Tom. They're right in front of the midshipmen. They have the thunder sticks out. Very loud down there on the field at this time.
Yeah, 4,000 midshipmen on hand to watch this ball game. And the Air Force cadets have come from Colorado Springs as well, about 1,000 in all, plus a whole host of fans for what is going to be a great college environment. On 1st and 15, the handoff goes to Jacoby Kendrick, the fullback, and he'll gain maybe 3 up to the 18-yard line. Time now for the Bud Light starting lineups. First for the Air Force offense. Scotty, the entire offensive line has returned from last year. They've allowed just 5 sacks, and the key is John Wilson right there in the middle.
Yeah, he's the big guy. He's on the Outland watch list, and he had some interesting comments coming into this game today.
Some great comments about what his team needs to do to be effective, and there's the backfield. Kendrick is the fullback. He is the key, along with the quarterback, Sean Carney. On 2nd down, Carney will keep it himself, and he gets back across the original line of scrimmage to the 21-yard line. But he'll be 9 yards shy of that first down. Let's take a look at the Bud Light starting lineups on the defensive end. And this is a defense that has been pressed over the last couple weeks. The 3-man line, yes, that's a key, but it's the 4-man linebacking crew led by Rob Caldwell, one of the interior guys, 5th in the country in overall tackles per game. And the secondary's been mixed up a little bit because of an injury to Jeremy McGowan. He is out, and Keenan Little moves over to his spot. It's 3rd down and 9 for the cadets. 44% on the year. And they're going to be shy of the first down marker by about 5 yards as Chad Hall, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, number 23, is tripped up right around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by David Mahoney right there on the read, coming up, making a shoestring tackle, saving a first down.
Mahoney, the junior from Fort Myers, Florida. There's Donnie Heaton, the punter for the Air Force Academy. He is the record for the longest punt in Mountain West Conference history, and Jason Tomlinson is a good one back at his 40-yard line. The punt is off, and with this wind in the face of Heaton, he gets off a good one. And Tomlinson will begin inside the 30-yard line, and all he could do, Scott, is get maybe 8 yards up to the 34 to start this series for Navy.
Great coverage by Air Force on the kick, the hang time right there, and like you said, Tom, into the wind. That's an outstanding punt.
Well, with the rain that has come up the East Coast thanks to Tropical Storm Tammy, it has also brought a tremendous amount of wind over the last couple of days. Now that'll help drive things out, and for Lamar Owens, the starting quarterback for Navy, he'll have to deal with that wind and also with the wet surface.
Well, that's what you do. You keep it on the ground. You get two schools that love to run the football. We're going to see a ton of option attack today. We're going to see some 50 defense up front, and whichever one plays the pitch the best is going to win this football game.
Owens last week over 100 yards on the ground against Duke. It's 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. And the handoff goes right to the fullback, Matt Hall, who goes right into the belly of this Air Force defense. Let's take a look at the Bud Light starting lineups. First for the Navy offense. We've already seen Matt Hall, the fullback, but he'll follow an offensive line that is somewhat seasoned, getting better as the weeks go on. But the key is again the center, James Rossi, the junior from Buda, Texas. And the backfield, of course, led by Hall, the fullback. But Tomlinson and Yokaitis can get in the mix, particularly Tomlinson on the outside. And here is Tomlinson on 2nd down, breaks one tackle and is knocked out of bounds after skipping past Carson Bird, number 2, about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Now the Air Force defense brought to you by Bud Light. You look at that front three, it's a 3-3-5 defense, which means 3 linemen, 3 linebackers with Overton Spence on the outside, and then 5 in the secondary, including 2 Falcons, which are strong safeties, Poland and also Tybee. And Tybee is probably the key to that secondary. It's 3rd down and about 2. And for both of these teams, getting efficiency on 3rd down is huge. And Owens is efficient on the first run. Inside Air Force territory, down to the 41-yard line.
Boy, Tommy, watch this thing develop. It looks like Owens had nothing right off the snap. You're going to see the fake. He tiptoed right through the line. Outstanding job picking up his feet and putting it down. You see the fake right here. He cuts it up. Look at him set up the block. Nice job. And that's what you want is Navy and Air Force. You want to be in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 all day. The last thing you want to see on the scoreboard is a 3rd and 11.
It's a gain of 17, Scott, so it's 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of Air Force. Both teams have talked about not only getting into the opposition's territory, but not settling for the field goals. And Owens keeps it himself after the fake to Hall, and he is dropped for no gain on the play. Number 55, Gilberto Perez, one of the ends on this defensive line for Air Force, made the tackle. He's 1st among defensive linemen in tackles and 7th overall on the team. There's Perez from Tampa, Florida. A couple of these Air Force players who are from the East get a chance to have their families come up and see them play here at Annapolis. And there's Perez again, dropping Owens at the 45-yard line.
The Air Force loves to run his 50 base defense. You're going to see a look at it right here. One of the most difficult things, you'll see Perez come down. He's assigned to the quarterback. As a defense, you're going to have one guy taking care of the quarterback, one guy on the fake, and then what we call the Falcon, the strong Falcon for Air Force, will be assigned to the pitch man.
Perez, Scott, now with 7.5 tackles for loss. Sacks are important for a defensive lineman, but those tackles for loss are huge.
Yeah, we like to call that a sack if you're a D lineman right there.
3rd down and 14. Owens to throw. Has Tomlinson on the outside. He's got room, tripped up to the 35-yard line. Ty Pappett, the sophomore from Monument, Colorado, number 19, made a good open field tackle. And Navy will be about 4 yards shy of a 1st down.
Oh, that was some nice misdirection right there. Good job by the left tackle, Matt Pritchett, getting outside on the screen. Great call by Navy. They hit him on the first series with the quick strike right down the line to the receiver. You come back, a little half roll, nice little throwback slip screen.
And Scotty, we've seen this before. It's 4th down and about 4 for a 1st down. And Navy will go for it. They're at 50% for the season. But this is something that they're used to not only in practice but also in games. Nelson in the backfield, Campbell in the backfield. I think Owens was just trying to draw Air Force off sides, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, there's no big deal going for it right here, Tom. You're on the 35. Say you kick it into the end zone, you know, it's a 15 net yard punt.
All right, so 4th down when we return. No score, just underway from Annapolis, Air Force and Navy. For both squads, Air Force gave the ball right to Navy after their first series. Now Navy on 4th down and about 4 yards to go for a 1st down. Will have the football on the 35-yard line of Air Force. And it looks like after they tried to draw Air Force offsides and then call the timeout. Looks like they're still going to go for it.
I love the call. You're in front of your student body. You're playing at home. They pick up this first down. It's huge.
As we said, 50% on the season. Owens looking to throw on fourth down. Has time, has Campbell. And Campbell is close to a first down, but he may have been bent back by Bobby Giannini, number 11, the leading tackler for Air Force, and this will all depend on the spots.
I tell you what, you got one-on-one right there. It's the back's job to make one guy miss. If Giannini had stopped him from making his first down, that's one of the best open field tackles I've seen in some time, Tom.
Well, Navy got a very good spot. Let's watch it here.
That's a tough throw right there by Owens. You saw he had to get it over the blockers, over the linemen. And here it is right here. He's going to make the catch. You're going to see Giannini break down right there. That's a great open field tackle. You see the pursuit. Nice job by Air Force coming up and sticking him down.
Reggie Campbell, the sophomore from Sanford, Florida. They bring the chains onto the field from the far side to the near side. I think Campbell got a very good spot on that tackle by Giannini.
That was a generous spot. He's got it.
And he's got the first down.
Good call.
Well, we know Paul Johnson likes to do that on fourth down, particularly when he's in the opposition's end, and Air Force really the same way.
Oh, you see it. It just ignited the crowd. The student body's going crazy. They got the thunder sticks. I like the idea. Passing out the thunder sticks. Make some noise. You saw what it did to Air Force on the opening drive. You got a backup tight end in the game. First play, false start.
So first and 10 now for the midshipmen. And they'll send two receivers to the outside, which means just two backs right now in the backfield. On first down, the handoff goes to Hall over his right guard down to the 26. A gain of 5, so it's second down and 5. Hey fans, CSTV would like to extend a very special welcome to the service women and service men around the world watching today's game on the American Forces Network. We appreciate everything you're doing to defend our great country. And they're watching the energy not only provided by the Navy fans, but hey, listen, we're not too far from D.C. There's a lot of Air Force fans that have made the trip here. Owens to throw, and it's intercepted by Carson on the outside. Carson Bird. He's across the 40, and he's going to be out toward midfield before Owens takes him down.
Wow. Carson Bird talking about being in the right place at the right time. He wasn't even the cover guy right there. I guarantee you that Lamar Owens didn't even see him on that. You see him come off the play fake, and he's just trying to put some touch on it. And then you see Bird right there, just in the right place at the right time. And there is a flag down on the play right here at the end. I think they may tack on another 15.
Well, it's going to be holding called against Air Force. Or excuse me, it's going to be a personal foul called against Air Force. And Fisher DeBerry, the head coach, talking to the officials now. There's Carson Bird. There's DeBerry.
Yeah, you've lost 3 games in a row. All of a sudden, you make a big play early in the football game. You're playing Navy. A lot of guys came off that sideline.
Personal foul, 88 on the return team after the interception. 15 yards, first down.
So Russ Mitz-Cheerling, the nose guard for Air Force, called for the penalty. So what would have been a first down for Air Force at about midfield turns out to be a first and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Take a look at the fake. Nice play fake here, and you see a ton of this play action stuff, trying to get linebackers to suck up. But Bird just in the right place at the right time, Tom. That wasn't even his guy in coverage. You're going to try and take a look here and see the late hit. This is a nice break on the ball. That's huge for Air Force because Navy was driving, going for it on 4th and inches.
So now Air Force with second possession of the afternoon, first and 10. And the handoff goes to Jacoby Kendrick, the fullback. And he might get 3 up to the 38-yard line. Kendrick Scott, the junior from Midland, Texas. You know how important this is and how big this is. 2 state titles during high school in Texas. And Fisher DeBerry gets some tremendous athletes from all around the country, much like Paul Johnson of Navy. But anytime you get a guy from Texas that has an impact on a state championship, that's a huge deal.
Texas, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Top 3.
Under 8 minutes to play in this first quarter, and Carney will keep it himself. And he gets across the 40 to the 42-yard line. A whole host of midshipmen in on the tackle, including Rob Caldwell, number 57.
That's a good job by Carney protecting the football. He elected to cut it up inside. He put both arms over the ball, and that's something that Air Force has struggled with as of late. 8 turnovers over the last 3 games. They want to correct that today.
Sean Carney, just a sophomore from the state of Ohio. Chuck Peterson, the offensive coordinator, said it's huge that there are no seniors in the backfield for Air Force because they'll be together for the next couple of years. And Kendrick is one of those guys, and he just barreled his way close to a first down, and he's got it without a measurement.
And you've talked about Sean Carter. He's one of 33 quarterbacks in the country, only a sophomore, on the Davey O'Brien watch list right now. That's huge. I mean, he's done a lot through the air, 666 yards, but he's got 265 yards on the ground. He's carried it 82 times for 3 touchdowns.
From St. Edward's High School in North Olmsted, Ohio, west of Cleveland, and he runs here, and this is what he can do. Spins himself to a first down to the 42-yard line before Caldwell takes him down from behind. So the ball is spotted at the 43-yard line.
You see the play fake right there. He's going to do the little cutback here. Watch the swipe right there in the arm, and just takes 2 hits right there off the top. That's good ball security right there, Tommy.
Hey, how about that play fake? I mean, the play fake was awesome to Kendrick.
That's what happens. You do that, all of a sudden you got 2 backers coming up, taking the fullback, and now you're forced on the outside. You got a safety coming up one-on-one with your quarterback.
So first down for Air Force, 1st and 10. Kendrick takes the handoff, and this kid is strong and moves his legs down across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Jacoby Kendrick, who came into the ball game with over 300 yards on the ground, 44 yards in the air, and for his career 640 total yards. And with this option, Scott, the fullback is the key for any team.
Oh, he's huge. Last week against San Diego State, he was a Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Week.
He got 5. It's 2nd down. He's halfway to the first down. Now he's past the first down marker. Down to the 24-yard line.
You're going to see him break tackles right here. Safety Jeremy McCown came up, tried to make the stick. But watch the leg drive right there. He lowers his shoulder. There's the missed tackle by the safety. If he doesn't knock him off balance right there, he's to the house. I mean, that's just north-south running, nothing to the side. That's what you want out of your fullback. Let your tailbacks go to the side.
So another first down for the Falcons inside the 25-yard line. They run the option, they pitch the option. Chad Hall to the right side, and Keenan Little, number 4, is there to meet him. And he takes him down after a gain of close to 5 yards. Little getting a chance to start at the cornerback position, the junior from Boiling Springs, North Carolina.
That's what you see out of this offense, both sides, and not a lot of straight knock them down. This season, 21-24 inside the red zone. And Fisher DeBerry said what, Tom, when you talked to him?
He said we can't settle for field goals. We got to get touchdowns. Last week, 3 different times, Fisher DeBerry's squad was inside the red zone, and they had to settle for field goals. He likes Scott Eberle, but he would love Kendrick or Carney to get into the end zone. And Kendrick is a yard shy of the first down there to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it was a nice read by Jake Bowles, number 52, the big linebacker. He stepped up early on that play. Something indicated him that was coming. The option was coming to that side. He was reading the key. He stepped up nicely, and he was reading that way ahead of time right there, Tom.
You can improvise, Scott, on defense anytime, but when you're facing the option, you've got to stay assignment D.
That's one of the toughest things to do. I don't know how teams do it defensively. It's frustrating. You saw the fake that Carney gave to Kendrick on the first play. He pulled it out. He gets 8 yards. Next play, he gives it to him. He busts it off for 12.
1 yard for a first down to the 14. Carney is hit in the backfield, but he's going to run for the first down. And he stumbles across the 10 before he's spun down by Tyler Tidwell, number 45.
You know, that's amazing. You do have to give these fullbacks credit because at some time they do need to come over top of the ball and close it down on top. And you're going to see Carney right here put it inside his belly. Watch the fake to Kendrick right there. Comes down the line. Good job by the slot back getting out in front and saying, hey, I'm not getting the ball here. Let's try and get out there and get a block.
Well, we've talked, Scott, too, about Rob Caldwell. He was the one that bumped Carney, who now has 4 carries for 26 yards. Bumped him, but the quarterback knows when he runs the option, whether it's Navy or Air Force, that they're going to get hit. They got to keep the legs moving. On 1st and goal from inside the 10, Kendrick across the 5 before he is tripped up by Jake Biles, number 52. And Kendrick is down to the 4-yard line.
You know, you get inside the 10-yard line right here. And talk about laying licks right there. Jake Biles right there stepping up. All of a sudden, you got a fullback that runs over a linebacker. He's 20 pounds lighter than. I was asked, former quarterback, what's it tougher to do in weather like this, throw the football or pitching on an option? I said pitching on an option because you got a ball that's flipping around.
And then you got to catch it too. On 2nd and goal, 10th play of the drive, Carney will keep the option himself. And he spins away from Tidwell before he's taken down inside the 3. So now 3rd down and goal. Fisher DeBerry's squad has been able to score some points this year. There's no doubt about that. But as we mentioned before, last week against Colorado State, they had one drive after another, particularly in the first half, and they had 9 points to show for 3 very good drives.
Oh, that's tough to do.
Well, particularly in the Mountain West Conference, where there's so much scoring that goes on.
That's the thing. And all of a sudden, you're running the offense. You're chewing up the clock. You get down there, you only come away with 9 points. How do you come back in football games?
The Mids in their dress blues. They switched over from the whites. It's about a week or 2 ago. And the pitch comes to number 23, Chad Hall, on the near side. It's read beautifully.
Yeah, that was Tyler Tidwell right there, number 45. Outstanding job reading that.
Tyler Tidwell, who last week had 9 tackles against a Duke squad. There's Jeremy Chase, number 49. He's one of the leaders of this defensive line.
Yeah, it's just a student body to the right side. Nice form tackling right there. And you talk about Air Force, but comebacks, I mean, even though they do run the ball, they keep it on the ground. They come back twice after they were down by double digits this year.
Absolutely. They can come from behind because they can throw. And this is what Fisher DeBerry has talked about. He's got to settle for a field goal attempt, a 20-yard field goal attempt from Scott Eberle. He's 5 of 7 this year on field goals. His long has been 40 yards. Donnie Heaton, the punter, is the holder. The snap is good. The kick is good. So Air Force is on top 3-0 to start this ball game. Only 2:02 left to play in the first quarter, but we've got our first points of the day. Plays 62 yards. Air Force settles for a 20-yard field goal from Scott Eberle. And the Academy has not thrown the football. The Air Force Academy has not thrown the football so far on the afternoon. Ryan O'Day will kick off for the Falcons as he tees it up at the 35-yard line. And back deep to receive for the midshipman will be freshman Carlos Whitaker, who last week had 84 yards on kickoff returns in his first game as a starter. This will be a short kick that will skip inside the 30-yard line. It's a live ball, and Navy falls on top of it. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Time to check in with Sheehan Stanwyck. Hello, Sheehan.
Hello, I'm here with the Secretary of the Navy, Secretary England. It's great to have you here.
Good
You've got
to
a
be
huge crowd behind you.
Terrific.
You've seen this team go from its worst to now. Tell me a little bit about it.
My first year, we didn't win a ball game, and of course, the last 2 years, Navy's been to a bowl game. So it's been a terrific turnaround.
Unbelievable turnaround. Now, at the Pentagon, you got to tell me a little bit about the trash talking that goes on.
Well, no, it's not trash talk, but it is. It's a rivalry between all the service schools, and it's a very competitive rivalry, and it's all terrific. It's all in good fun, a lot of respect, obviously, for everybody in the other service. This is a joint. It is all joy. So we may all kid, but we cheer for each other every time, except when we meet each other on the field of play.
Then it's a different story.
Then it's a different story.
Now, tell me a little bit about the Emerald Bowl last year. You took some families down to the Emerald Bowl that had sons had been killed in the War on Terror.
Well, we did, and it helps keep it all in perspective. I mean, this is a great rivalry, but the real competition is after these great men and women graduate and do wonderful things for America. So it was terrific to have parents of those who have sacrificed for America. That's what it's all about.
Thank you very much. Great having you.
My pleasure. Good being with you. Thank you.
Sheehan, thank you very much. Well, while Gordon England was down on the field, Air Force forced another turnover, this time a fumble that was recovered by Aaron Shaner, one of the backup linebackers. Scotty, here's what happened.
Oh, you talk about being disruptive in the backfield right there. Big number, 78. Nelson Mitchell makes the initial hit, causes the fumble, and that's what happens. As a quarterback, you got to read that. You got to see those guys coming. He's got to pull that back, maybe just eat it, take the loss right there, take a knee, and let's rehuddle and go with the next play.
Shaner, another sophomore, this one from the state of Texas, came in to recover that fumble. So Carney will get a chance on first down, his first pass of the day, and it's complete at the 5-yard line to Jason Brown, the senior, who is so effective when Air Force goes to the air.
Oh, he ran a heck of a route here too, Tom. He took it right up at the safety. He broke it off towards the pylon. All they did, Air Force, you take a look right here. He's going to run a little short half roll to the strong side. We call it the strong side because it's the open side of the field. Right here, he rolls to his left, quick boom, gets his shoulders back square to the line of scrimmage. Nice pass, almost a little too far to the inside, but nice route by Brown.
So now on first and goal from the 5, Air Force once again will try for the end zone. And they get a couple on their first run.
This is sometimes where you see teams that are so run-oriented struggle when you get down inside the 5-yard line. Maybe you got to open up your splits a little bit here, spread things out. You got 8, 9, 10 guys around in a 5-yard box area. You call it the tackle box area. If you look at it on the field, put the football down 5 yards around it, you got a minimum 8 to 10 guys. It's tough to push ahead and stuff it up the middle.
And Scotty, Mark Root is spun to the outside, to the left for Air Force. We've got movement in the backfield as Carney takes it himself into the end zone. .23 seconds left on the clock, but I believe we had an illegal shift, as we mentioned, as that play was coming about from the backfield, which when you run the option, you may have this from time to time.
Yeah, keep your eyes on Kendrick, number 8. He's the fullback. Yeah, you get 2 guys moving at the same time, and that's against the rules. We call that cheating.
Legal shift, 8, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Chad Smith was number 24. He was moving along with Jacoby Kendrick. So it'll be second and goal from the 9-yard line. And Fisher DeBerry's squad up 3-0 with 23 seconds left on the first quarter clock. Well, he knows his team can put yards up on the board, but he also knows Navy can, so that's why he would love to jump out to a comfortable lead early on in this ball game. It's a 4-man defensive front for Navy. Man in motion. Carney off the play fake, throws, and it's complete to the near side. And into the end zone is Chad Smith, the sophomore from River Oaks, Texas. Well, the extra movement seemed to help on that 9-yard touchdown pass, and a good play fake by Carney.
Yeah, you're going to take a look at Chad Smith right there, number 24. He's the actual play fake guy right there. All they do is leak him back out underneath. They boot it to that side. He's wide open. Easy pass right there for Carney. Just get it to him and let him get in the end zone.
Chad Smith, his first receiving touchdown. He's got 2 touchdowns overall. And now Eberle on for the point after. With 16 seconds left to play in the first quarter, 2 turnovers have led to 9 points for Air Force, and Eberle makes it 10 points. So 10-0, Air Force is on top as the first quarter winds down. The offense has been given some pretty good field position, and they have capitalized. Coming into this ball game, well, they have 2 so far this afternoon, and it's led to 10 points for the Air Force Academy on top of Navy, 10-0 in the waning seconds of this first quarter. And O'Day will tee it up at the 35. Carlos Whitaker back deep to receive, the very talented freshman. And it's another short kick that will be taken inside the 25-yard line. And Whitaker's across the 30. His knee came down at about the 33-yard line. Well, we talked about the turnovers that Navy has had in this first quarter. It's led to the 10 points. Let's take a look, Scotty, and see what's happened.
Oh, the big one right there. Nelson Mitchell coming in, making that initial stick. That puts the ball on the ground. Oh, we get a little bit of play action to the backside, half roll. Sets it up first and goal. Misdirection right here underneath with the fake. Get it to the halfback right in his flat. That's an easy touchdown, Tommy.
And Chad Smith, his first touchdown in the air. It's an 8-yard reception. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Navy as Owens runs this offense. He'll keep it himself. Nice move as he's flipped over across the 40-yard line. Well, that was a great fake to the fullback to get those yards for Lamar Owens.
Yeah, it was a good job by Ty Paffett bringing him down, stepping up from the safety position. We're going to take another look. Watch these quarterbacks, the way they put the ball inside the pocket of those fullbacks. They're able to take it out, reset, and cut it upfield.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter. Air Force is on top 10-0. Not a whole lot to cheer for if you're a midshipman fan right now, but plenty of time left in this ball game. 3 quarters to go with Air Force on top 10-0. Second quarter with Air Force on top 10-0 and what they expect to be a record crowd here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. The rededication of this beautiful facility. And for Navy, second down and short. The pitch comes to Tomlinson, who does a nice job catching the pitch, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Chris Sutton, number 6, came in to blow up that play, and it's a loss of 5.
He did a great job staying at home. Sometimes when you face a lot of option, a lot of misdirection right here, very easy for the defense to go with flow. You got everybody going to that way. Here comes the pitch on the backside. Nice job staying at home, preventing a long gainer.
Sutton, the junior from Longview, Texas, 8th on the team in tackles coming into this ball game. The starter at right corner, and now forces Scott a 3rd down and long instead of what you would have assumed it would have been either a 1st down or a 3rd and short for Navy. In motion is Campbell. The pitch is fake to Campbell. This is a dead run for Owens. Read nicely by Air Force, and he will be shy of that 1st down by a long way. Jared Baxley, number 26, made the tackle for the Air Force Academy. Baxley, whose dad Ed played for Richard Bell, the defensive coordinator for Air Force, when he was in college at South Carolina. How about that legacy?
That's a legacy. You talk about momentum, though, Tom. Air Force is beating Navy to the punch in every phase of the game right now.
Eric Shuey on the punt the football away. He got it off with some pressure. It'll be taken inside the 20-yard line as Chad Hall races across the 25 before he's taken down at the 31-yard line. So Air Force will have possession first time in the second quarter on the 31-yard line. 13.5 left to play in the second quarter. 10-0 Air Force. Half left to play in the first half. Air Force on top 10-0. The Falcons have run 18 plays so far. Here is number 19 on 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. And Carney is calling out an audible. Play clock is at 15 and counting right now, so he has time. With a receiver to the wide side of the field, he fakes the handoff, and his pitch is going to roll out of bounds. The pitch went to one of the former backup quarterbacks, number 15, Jim Ollis. Hey fans, your college fantasy is finally a reality. CSTV Fantasy College Football presented by Citi offers an exciting format that is unique to the college game. Create your own league and invite your friends to play, or join a public league and test your skills against others. Play for free at CSTV.com. Well, Scotty, you talked about before how tough it was to handle the football on a day like this, and I guess there's the pitch that you talked about, how tough that is.
You can see Sean Carney was upset with himself after that play.
The handoff goes to number 23, Chad Hall. He fumbles the football. It's loose on the carpet. It's still loose and picked up by Air Force. You talked about handling the football. The pitch is tough, but for Air Force, Handley was able to finally slide over and pick up that ball.
We're going to see about 8 of these today. You see Hall come back underneath. It's a misdirection to the backside. Almost looks like he was down by contact there. He's almost a slashing runner. No, that thing was out, Tom. We're going to see about 8 of these at some point throughout the course of the game. Whichever team takes care of the football today is going to win it. I'm telling you, this game's going to come down to turnovers.
Now, we talked about Air Force. The last 3 games, they've had 8 turnovers, and that has really cost them. Down on the field is Stuart Perlow, one of the backup offensive linemen for the Air Force Academy. Rob Caldwell, number 57, is the one who knocked that football loose as Chad Hall was squirting into the Navy defense. Looks like Perlow is okay as he's walking off the field under his own power.
Yeah, Navy did something interesting defensively in the first play of this series. They've been coming out in a 3-4. All of a sudden, right before the snap, they switched to a 4-down lineman, forced Carney into a check with me. He went to the weak side. I think he thought he should have went with another play there. That's the one where the pitch was out of bounds. But they're doing something. They got to do something to create havoc in the Air Force backfield. They need to do what the Air Force defense is doing to their offense, getting somebody back here, getting that initial hit on the fullback, forcing the quarterback to the outside, and just go quarterback pitch guy.
And Scott, now Air Force is facing a 3rd down and about 5 for a 1st down. They are 2 of 4 so far in the early part of the afternoon on 3rd down.
There's the switch again on the defensive front.
Carney rolls to the outside. Has room to roll. Here's Caldwell, who takes him down after maybe a gain of 1, but he may have also gotten a face mask. There is a flag down. It came down after Caldwell dragged Carney down.
What a great read by Caldwell, though. He's one of the most active guys, like you said, Tom.
It's going to be a personal foul face mask. Scotty, you see Caldwell right there with the taping around the nose.
Face mask, 57, 15 yards.
You see Carney come to the outside right here. Now I thought right there, boom, he should have made that decision. He could have picked up the first down with his feet. But right here, watch Caldwell. Now, anytime you take a player and you bring him down to the ground, if he would have just pulled his hand off initially when he felt that face mask, it would have only been a 5-yarder. But thus, right there, you see it's a 15-yarder.
Well, he injured his nose during preseason last week against Duke. He got 3 stitches on that nose, had to sit out for a long series. Has a brand new helmet that he's using for this ball game, and that helmet is enabling him to watch Carney go down on 1st down inside Navy territory.
Yeah, big number 95, John Chan. He was the first guy in the backfield right there to force him to the inside. Good job by Mahoney coming in and scraping off and cleaning up the pile.
John Chan, 2nd on the team in tackles. And there's Mahoney. This linebacking crew is very active, and it was Mahoney coming in that everybody thought would be the leader. Chan from the end position, the junior from Pleasant Hill, California, poli-sci major here in Annapolis. It'll be 2nd down and 16 for the Falcons. Man in motion to the outside. That's Handley. Carney looking to throw. Lofts it to the outside. Has Ryan Williams, one of his fullbacks. Bounces his way to a 1st down. He was knocked out of bounds by Rayshawn King, the freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Tell you what, Tom, he picked up 9 extra yards on his own. Wait till you see this play again. Watch the fake by Carney. Great play action fake. He gets his head and shoulders down. Nice touch on the ball. Watch 1, 2, 3. I think Caldwell's one of the guys right there. Nice little spin move. Gets to the outside. Picks up 9 extra yards. There's the play fake. Watch the touch on the football. Now right here, boom. Watch the spin move. He keeps his balance. Gets the hand down. Picks up 9 extra. That's a great move.
5'9", 215 pounds from Dallas, Texas. On 1st and 10, Carney will keep it himself. Nice hurdle over the 30-yard line. And he may have another 1st down just on that run.
You can see why he's one of the top candidates right now for the Davey O'Brien Award. He really runs this offense well. He knows when to cut it up. He's not afraid to get hit. He doesn't go down. He's not looking for the sticks. He's not looking for the sideline. Lineman got to love that in a quarterback.
Well, he's a yard shy of the 1st down marker inside the 30-yard line. He needs to get across the 28 for a 1st down. And he'll hand it off to his fullback. And depending on forward progress and where the spot is, he may have the 1st down. Ryan Williams, the sophomore, number 45, took that handoff. He and Jacoby Kendrick will see time at that fullback position throughout the afternoon. But it is Kendrick who's the go-to guy.
You know, we talked prior to the game, going into this game, whichever team wins this football game, that sets the tone for the rest of the year. And on the flip side, you lose this one, Navy could be facing a 1-3 start. Air Force could be facing losing 4 games in a row. It almost could cripple your season.
Chains come out onto the field, and you're right, Scott. I mean, at this juncture of the year, and we know that Air Force has played another game compared to Navy because of the hurricane that caused the Rice game to be moved to later on in the season. But you are right. I mean, this is a young team, not only on the Navy side under Paul Johnson, but also on the Air Force side. And we're calling out so many sophomores, so many juniors, and for Fisher DeBerry and his crew, they like it when they're successful because they will be in that backfield running the option for a couple more years. It was a 1st down, so it's 1st and 10 from around the 28-yard line for Air Force. The handoff goes to Williams, and he rams himself right in for a couple of yards. Let's check in with Sheen Stanwyck. Hello, Sheen.
I'm here with Joe Bellino from the 1960 Orange Bowl team, Heisman Trophy winner, ton of accolades. Talk a little bit about your years here at Navy and what your favorite memories are.
Oh, well, absolutely the best time of my life, the 4 years I spent here at the Naval Academy. happen to have some tremendous teammates, and we're able to win some very important football games. We're ranked the top 10 teams in the country. It was a great time. I wouldn't change the look of it.
Now you're a big Navy fan following the football. You've seen it go through its ups and downs. Is this your favorite year so far, except for the ones you played in?
Oh yeah, I think Paul Johnson's done a fantastic job here at Navy. I think he's recruited a lot of great football players, and they have the support of the administration. And it's good for not only Navy football fans, but for Service Academy football. So I am happy.
Now you're obviously a great player, a ton of accolades, Heisman Trophy, but great players get there, especially in a team sport, by the help of others. Who do you credit the most to your journey as a player?
Well, I think Wayne Harden, was my varsity coach my junior and senior year. I think he laid it out for me. He said he was going to run an offense that would feature a running back, and he thought I could do the job. So I credit to Wayne Harden.
Well, thanks so much, Mr. Bellino, and welcome back.
Sheehan, thank you very much. John Chan makes that tackle on 1st down and 10 for Air Force inside the 20-yard line. Joe Bellino, the 1960 Heisman Award winner. 3 years later, Roger Staubach won the Heisman Trophy, and you saw shots while Sheehan was talking to Joe from the 1961 Orange Bowl. He finished with over 3,000 career yards. And
for that time.
Yeah, I mean, it says something out of the backfield as a halfback to be able to run the ball the way he did, but also to be able to receive the ball the way he did.
That's outstanding. This is a huge stop right here for Navy. They cannot afford to go down 17-0 at this time in the football game, Tom.
2nd down and 10. Carney's looking for that 17 for the end zone, and it's intercepted by Keenan Little.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. Game-changing moments. Air Force did it twice to them already. It's Navy's turn. It's a great play by Little. That's a bad throw by Carney.
For Keenan Little, Scott, his 2nd interception of the season. For Carney, it's his 4th, and he just wobbled this pass up.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about as a quarterback. As you play in these games and it gets longer in the games, you're only rotating about 8 or 10 footballs. Those footballs get heavier. I guarantee you we'd like to have that football back and throw for that back pylon.
So 2 turnovers for Air Force give the Falcons 10 points. Here's the first turnover caused by Navy. And Lamar Owens has it 1st and 10 from his 20-yard line. The handoff is given to Matt Hall, and he runs right into a traffic jam. Now this Air Force defense, which is prepared for the Navy offensive attack all week long. They don't see it in the Mountain West Conference, but they see it at practice. It's easy for them to at least adjust to it. And Joey Keller, number 42, was in on that tackle, as you see Joey right there.
You know, this is a very crucial drive for Navy, too. All of a sudden, after a turnover, you don't want to go 3 and out and then get your defense back on the field after they've been battling. They forced a turnover. You got to at least move the sticks here, and it almost becomes a field position game with the weather.
2nd down and 10. Owens looking to throw. Has plenty of time to the middle. Incomplete. Carlos Whitaker, number 33, was his intended receiver, but there were a couple of different defenders that were right on his back.
Yeah, you can see what they were trying to do there. They're trying to do the backside drag with the tight end. Now you see him coming from the backside right here. Owens almost held on to it too long. You see both guys reacting right there. Too much time to react to the football. You got to stick it on him in that first hole, allow him to pick up the 1st down.
Ty Paffett, number 19, and Bobby Giannini, number 11, were both in on the coverage. For Owens, he's 3 of 5 for 20 yards passing the football. Under center, he drops back to pass, throws again. Campbell with a 1st down, loses the football. And around the 35-yard line, the ball was loose. And the line judge comes over and says it will be Navy football. George Arredondo is the line judge who made that call. Campbell was wide open.
Oh, he was. You're going to see him get in the seam right here. He's going to be wide open. Something maybe you want to do right here. Something you want to do is maybe spread the Air Force defense out. They're so compacted. You're dealing with a 50 defense, 5 guys in. Nice job by the quarterback just getting it on his back shoulder. You got to hang on to that ball. You can't put the ball out on the ground.
Well, he did a good job of actually getting the ball back because Giannini and Paffett were both there again. On 1st down, the pitch comes to Marco Nelson, who's out toward midfield. Taken down by Giannini at the 48-yard line. He is not big, but he is fast and he is strong.
This is what they need right now. This is the physical play of Navy, of what they've done in the past. They went toe-to-toe with Maryland in week 1. They need to do it to Air Force now. They need to, hey, we're going to take the turnover. We're going to stuff it down your throat. We're going to show you what we have. Cut this score 10-7 here before the half.
Scott Marco Nelson, the senior from Scottsdale, Arizona, getting a chance to play more and more as the years have gone on. Here's the pitch to Campbell. And he is dragged down by Nelson Mitchell, the senior from Houston, Texas.
Well, that's 2 huge plays by Nelson Mitchell today. 1 forcing the first fumble. Nice job for a tackle for loss right there.
Mitchell, 6'1", 260 pounds, the senior. Hey fans, do you live for college football? Then you can't live without CSTV All Access College Football. Your ultimate ticket to all the action this season. Get hundreds of live game broadcasts and exclusive access to news, stats, scores, highlights, press conferences, you name it in college football. CSTV All Access College Football. Sign up now at CSTV.com. Second down and 3. Owens will run for the first down. He has it inside Air Force territory. Dragged down from behind by Denny Poland, one of the Falcon players for Air Force.
Yeah, it's a quarterback draw call all the way right here. You're going to see the right guard, Antron Harper. He comes up on the linebacker. Good job by Lamar Owens, reading the blocks by the center and by his right guard.
And for Lamar Owens, that's 8 carries for 29 yards. A 9-yard gain. It'll be third down and about 4 for first down. He needs to get past the 42-yard line for first down. Play clock is at 5 seconds. He winds it down, hands it off to Hall, bounces his way across the first down marker. Well, we saw it with Kyle Eckel for the last couple of years, how much impact a good fullback will have or could have, and Hall is one of those guys.
Well, take a look at the hole. I mean, you could drive a truck through it right there, maybe even a bus. But you mentioned Kyle Eckel, and I tell you what, they loved him up in New England Patriot land. He was with them through the whole preseason. He had about 4 touchdowns in the preseason. He lasted till last cut, and then Miami snagged him up for their practice squad. So he's down with the Dolphins now. They really love that guy up in New England.
See the first down, Scotty. 10 for Air Force, 5 for Navy. And Hall again, once the fullback gets rolling, usually there's some momentum behind him. And he gets nearly 3. We've talked about Matt Hall before, how in high school when he was going to summer camp to play football, he seriously injured his leg. It nearly had to be amputated, and he had to fight back. He was on his back for so many months, and I asked him, I said, what got you going? He said, well, I needed to know that I was going to be on the football field again, and that's what drove him to eventually get up and rehabilitate that injury, and it's a tremendous story. On second down, he runs again down toward the 31-yard line. It's going to be a few yards shy of a first down. But for both teams, Scott, I mean, the fullback is a necessity for this offense.
Oh, it's huge. They rely heavily on the fullback. He carries the team. And like you said, Tom, you get down to 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1. You know who's getting the ball. It's not the quarterback. It's the fullback. Both sides here. But for Navy, what's exposed for them right now is that little wide receiver slip screen. Just take the snap, throw it down. The coverage isn't there right now, so they have that at their disposal.
It's third down at about 4. And Owens will keep it himself, runs into his own offensive lineman, but spins his way across the 30 to about the 29.
Yeah, it's going to be about a 4th and 1. This is a tough call for Paul Johnson right here. You're under 5 minutes left in the half. Your team's down 10-zip. He's sending in the big guys.
Paul Johnson, who like Fisher DeBerry, began his coaching career in the high school ranks. Said he would have been content with coaching high school and being a gym teacher for his entire career. But it's worked out probably a little better for him.
I find that hard to believe.
4th down at about 2. Navy will go for it. They have a receiver to the near side. It's Tomlinson. One to the outside. It's Regas. And the handoff goes to Hall. He's got the first down and more. As he slams his way to the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for Matt Hall, who now has 7 carries and 31 yards, and most of that has come on this drive.
Oh, Giannini came up too. He made the stick, and Hall even carried him for an extra yard. You look at him right here. He slips through another big hole. Great job by the Navy offensive front. You look at the movement. Look at big number 63 right there. Antron Harper moving the pile, leading the way. That's what you want from your front 5.
Another first down for the midshipmen on this drive. Another run for Hall. And he drags his defender to the 15-yard line. Aaron Shaner, the sophomore, number 50, makes the tackle.
You know, Tom, they keep giving it to the fullback. You wonder if they're going to have enough time.
We'll see. Let's go to New York. Game Tracker Live with Adam Zucker.
All right, thanks, Tom. Of course, all these Navy and Air Force fans want to know how Army's doing. Right now, tied at 7 against Central Michigan in the middle of a 9-game losing streak. And number 2, Texas, trying to break its 5-game losing streak against Oklahoma. And right now, they are winning. Back to you guys.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. That matchup, Texas and Oklahoma, usually each and every year is a big one, but Oklahoma has struggled somewhat this year. On second down, Hall doesn't gain anything, so it'll be 3rd down and 5 here at Annapolis. As Russ Mitch-Cheerling, the nose guard, made that tackle for the Falcons. He's another good one. Fisher DeBerry and Richard Bell say he is the anchor to this defensive line.
Navy likes to take their time here, you know, getting in and out of the huddle. We're down under 3 minutes. Yeah, the ball's at the 15, but the way they're going, they keep getting it 3-4 yard clips. It's going to be a close one.
They need 5 yards for a first down. They need to get across the 10. Owens will keep it himself. He is across the 10. And he's down close to the 5. It's a gain of 9 on that quarterback keeper. So it'll be 1st and goal for the midshipmen. We have seen over the first handful of weeks that when Lamar Owens also gets rolling, I mean, like anybody, Scott, it gains confidence, and he had confidence on this run.
Well, that's the thing. This is a quarterback keeper call all the way. They did spread him out, and Air Force got a little nervous there. 3 wide receivers to that side, forced him to be a little soft. Good job by Owens, just getting a first down.
Owens, who's run for over 100 yards against Maryland, over 100 yards against Duke, right now has 42 yards on 10 carries. He's within 5 yards of a touchdown. Navy 8 of 10 inside the red zone. They'll go to Hall on this first drive. And he gains maybe 2 down to the 3-yard line.
This is probably the area where you do want to get it to the outside. Navy did a nice job on those student bodies to get this drive going. So many times they were giving it to the fullback in the first couple series of the game. Then they started to go outside, and that's what opened things up for them.
Paul Johnson trying to get his team into the end zone. Scott, this will be the 30th play of the first half for Paul Johnson's squad. And it'll be the 16th play of this drive. Over 7 minutes long. And boy, he loves to eat up that clock. Whitaker's in motion. He'll take the pitch to the outside toward the pylon. Touchdown, Navy.
It's like, why beat your head against the wall? Running inside, you got 8 big bodies inside, nobody on the outside. One-on-one with wide receivers and corners. That's where you like the matchup.
Carlos Whitaker with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And this was put together beautifully.
Well, the nice thing is he's already in motion, so he's already got a full head of steam. You get a nice little toss right in front of him. You see Whitaker coming in motion. Nice pitch right in his body. Good blocks on the outside, sealing it off. That's an easy touchdown, Tom.
On for the point after is Joey Bullen. And his attempt is good. He's now 12 of 12 with point afters. Navy is within 3, 10-7 with 1:06 to play in the first half. First half against Duke, 35 overall. Well, now with this touchdown, they have 30 plays already in this first half, and they're down by 3, 10-7. Carlos Whitaker with his 3rd touchdown run of the season. Bullen will tee it up at the 35-yard line. And Navy will kick off from left to right. They squib it across the surface. And down to the ground goes one of the up men. So that's where Air Force will begin. 1:03 left to play in this first half. They'll be just inside the 30-yard line. Whitaker puts Navy on the board and within 3.
So what's different about Budweiser Select? Good question. First, we start with a blend of the finest hand-selected North American and Bavarian hop varieties picked straight from the vine. Then we take the time to brew Budweiser Select longer. So you get a beer with light beer stats and a distinct bold taste that finishes clean. So why settle for anything less? Be selected.
Saturday nights, all right for a doubleheader. First, a Big 12 showdown. Number 13 Texas Tech battles Nebraska. Then undefeated Pac-10 powers collide. Number 11 Cal and number 20 UCLA. Doubleheader action off tonight, 4 Eastern, on TBS Saturday Night College Football, presented by Orbit.
Play of the first half, it's 10-7. Air Force is on top. The Falcons with the football. Carlos Whitaker has pulled his team within 3. And now Sean Carney, the quarterback, under center, will try to get his team's offense going. But he is taken down after no gain on the play. Number 98, Larry Silk, the junior from Claymont, Delaware, in on the tackle for Navy. John Chan was there as well.
Yeah, Chan's starting to get things cranked up, and they definitely wanted to throw the football there, but good decision by Carney. The last thing Air Force wants to do is have a quick turnover right here to allow Navy to possibly get 3 points and knot it up.
Scott, one of the best matchups today. I mean, you look at the offense against the defense, but it's Larry Silk, the nose guard, against John Wilson, the center, for Air Force. And Wilson was looking forward to a chance to play today here at Navy Marine Corps Stadium, because he obviously had an opportunity to play in front of some of his family members who are from this East Coast. Carney, who's from the Midwest, runs out to the 47-yard line, and he has a first down for the Falcons. So it'll be 1st and 10 from about the 46-yard line. Time now for our Nintendo fan of the game. That's right, the 4,000 or so midshipmen who are here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, settling in, battling the elements, and there have been a lot of elements. They are Nintendo fans of the game. They said about 1,000 Air Force cadets were coming out from Colorado Springs as well. And Fisher DeBerry was looking forward to this college atmosphere, because the last couple of times that these two teams have faced each other back east, they played, Scott, at the Redskins Stadium at FedEx Field. And you know, you look at the atmosphere at an NFL stadium when you put 42,000 people in a 75, 80,000 seat facility, or you can cram 37,000 into a college atmosphere like this. What's better? The atmosphere is probably better.
Oh, I love college stadiums, and that's one of the best things I liked when I started to play for the Patriots was the old Foxborough Stadium. It was built like a college stadium. It had the metal bench seating and the atmosphere, the noise. It gets the crowd into the game, and that's one of the greatest things about college football, Tom.
This facility holds 34,000, but they've oversold with standing room only tickets. And even with the rain that's been in the area the last couple of days, it is loud. Carney to throw on first down. Pocket collapses. He can run. He's going to step up, throw off his back leg. Has a man wide open. Touchdown, Air Force. Greg Kirkwood, number 85. A 54-yard toss from Sean Carney to Kirkwood, the senior from Othello, Washington. It's his 2nd touchdown of the season.
I tell you what, that is a backbreaker, and what a job by Sean Carney here. You're going to see Jeremy Chase coming from the backside, almost gets him on the sack. Carney stays alive, keeps his eyes downfield, and he just leaks right down the middle of the field. No free safety. How could you not have a free safety in that situation?
2nd touchdown pass of the day for Carney, and he's got some confidence to celebrate. The point after is good by Eberle, and Air Force is back on top, 17-7. A 54-yard touchdown pass, and there was a lot more to it than just a 54-yard touchdown.
Oh, that was not designed. And Kirkwood was basically running about a 10-yard in cut, and as a receiver, you're told when you don't initially get the ball in your first read, you look back. If your quarterback's in trouble, it's a thing you call the scramble drill. If he's rolling to one side, the receiver short to that side goes deep. The receiver that's deep comes back. You got to help the quarterback out. What a job Kirkwood did finding the hole, and he just trickled right down in the middle of the field. No free safety, Tom. You got to be thinking big play if you're Navy.
Well, and I like the fact that you pointed out that there is one guy that goes deep, because a lot of times guys will just step up and try to get the short pass, and you know, why not go for it all?
It's amazing, and you usually put your biggest, tallest receiver or defensive back there, and it's almost a jump ball situation. Just get up and knock it down.
As a quarterback, do you feel goofy when you don't hit that guy wide open like that?
That's unexpected right there. As a quarterback, you're excited even if you get a shot at hitting somebody that's that wide open. And that's a tough break for Navy right there. Great drive, you know, and then all of a sudden, boom, Air Force gets another quick 7 on the board.
Well, Carlos Whitaker, who put the 7 on the board for Navy, will receive this kickoff. He's kind of settling into his own as a return man, and he settles across the 30-yard line to the 32, and that's going to be the end of the first half. And it was action-packed, no doubt about it. Air Force has a 10-point lead, 17-7. But we've seen a lot of good things by both squads.
Yeah, we did. But even right there at the end, you got to give all the credit right there to Sean Carney. If he didn't nail off that last run to get it out to midfield, Air Force would have never had a shot at going for the Hail Mary right there, Tom.
336 yards of total offense for both teams in the first half. 62 plays of offense from both teams in the first half. We've seen turnovers. In fact, there were 2 turnovers from Navy that have led to 10 of the 17 points, and we've seen some efficiency as well from the Air Force offense, particularly on this last drive. Let's check in with Sheehan Stanwyck. Hello, Sheehan.
Great first half. How key is it scoring with 5 seconds left to go in the halftime?
Well, that certainly should give us some momentum. I wish we had the ball coming out of the dressing room, but, you know, it shows our quarterback's got a good arm. He got some good periphery of the field, but doggone it, we should have had another score down there. And we've, you know, aborted a touchdown down here. We aborted a possible touchdown down there. We cannot swap touchdowns for field goals, and that's the thing. We got to finish every drive because you just don't get the ball that many times whenever you're playing another option football team. So you got to make hay while the sun's shining, and doggone it, we haven't done that. It's consistent. I'm pleased where we are, but we got another half football. We got to come back and really control their option and keep the football. We've done a good job of keeping them controlling the football.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
All right, Sheehan, thank you very much. I'd love to see the sunshine that Fisher's talking about. 17-7, Air Force is on top. It's time to head to New York for Game Tracker Live with Adam Zucker.
All right, thanks, guys. Adam Zucker here with Game Tracker Live at the half. Coming up, we'll see if Army can end its losing streak while Texas tries to end its 5-game skid against rival Oklahoma. Plus, Brian Curtis looks at which ACC powerhouse has the best shot at the BCS championship game. Back to the Fieldhouse right after this. Tracker Live at the half. Adam Zucker here with Brian Curtis, and Air Force a 17-7 lead. Key touchdown there in the final seconds.
Well, it's like our analyst Scott Zolak said. You cannot let that guy get wide open there with 16 seconds left in the game. Where was the free safety? I think Fisher DeBerry in his comments running into the locker room at halftime said it best. He used the word abort, which I've never heard a football coach use before. But they had chances to score multiple times in the first half. Could have put Navy away. Navy is playing very sloppy football despite them putting points on the board. They better get their act together in the second half, or Air Force is really going to pull away.
Abort, Air Force. That's why you're.
Well, I get it, but I mean, he used it twice in the same sentence.
I just did too. All right, let's check out some other scores, and surely the game all you Air Force and Navy fans want to know about. Army at home against Central Michigan, and Army riding a 9-game losing streak right now, and will it continue? We don't know. Early minutes of the third quarter, and it is still tied at 7 in that game. Number 2, Texas. Perfect time to end that 5-game losing streak to Oklahoma. They just scored again to make it 24-6. Jamal Charles, an 80-yard touchdown run in this game for the Longhorns. Big Ten, Minnesota and Michigan. The battle for the Little Brown Jug. The Wolverines lead this one 13-10 at the half. Wolverines coming off that big win over Michigan State last week. Now, this is the week. This is the year. Texas just had to beat Oklahoma.
That's what they've been saying. I mean, leading up to this game, I was actually thinking Oklahoma's going to win. They still can come back. I thought Oklahoma was going to win because of the Texas mindset of having lost 5 straight games. Now, in the first half already, Vince Young threw an interception. It was a bad call by the official. Oklahoma needs those kind of breaks, whereas Texas is finally capitalizing late in the first half to make it. If Oklahoma had kept this a 1-touchdown game heading into halftime, I would have been a lot more confident in the Sooners coming out ahead in the end. But now they're starting to be spread. You're seeing the Texas defense do what it does best. Texas is the only team in America ranked in the top 15 in offense and defense. They're playing great right now. Let's see if they can hold on.
Okay, and moving on. That's what the Gators are trying to do after getting smoked in Tuscaloosa last week. Florida down to number 13 after Urban Meyer's first loss there, hosting Sylvester Croom and Mississippi State today. Let's check out some of the early highlights from this one. Still going on. First quarter, no score.
Well, they have rededicated the stadium here in Annapolis, Maryland, but the fans are still seeing some very good football along the way. Air Force on top, 17-7 over Navy. Hi, everybody. Tom McCarthy back with you with Scott Zolak. We've seen a very interesting first half, and a couple of reasons why is because of the turnovers and because of the offensive prowess of not only Sean Carney, but also Lamar Owens.
Oh, without a doubt, both quarterbacks in control of the game. Navy's got to stop turning the football over. That's the difference in the football game right now. But as we expected with the weather, we're going to see the ball on the turf a lot today.
As we said, it's rained for the last couple of days here at Annapolis, Maryland. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half of action. And it began very early with Air Force having to settle for a field goal, but then turnover number 2 took place for Navy in Annapolis.
Big hit by Nelson Mitchell right there. Forced the turnover. That's the difference in the game right now, Tom.
And, of course, Carney read it beautifully through the touchdown pass, and it was an 8-yard toss. That was one score. That one to Chad Smith. And then Carney again trying to go for the end zone, but then Navy returns the favor with an interception.
Yeah, and here's you're going to see Whitaker coming in motion right here. A little toss sweep out to the outside. He walks into the end zone right there to cut it 10-7. And then right here before the half, you see Carney buying time. He's the difference in the football game right now. Makes a play down the field, gets Air Force the quick score right before the half.
Well, that's a 54-yard pass play to Kirkwood, and it obviously gave Air Force a 17-7 lead. Time now for the Nissan shift performance. You talked about the turnovers.
Oh, and that's the thing. You got to stop Sean Carney. Right now, he's got 53 yards on the ground. He's 4 or 5, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. You got to limit turnovers. That's the difference. 10-point differential right now, and continue good starting field position. You want to average, start at least your 30, 35. They're to 29 right now.
Well, some of the things that we saw in the first half, not only good offense, some mistakes. We'll see if it changes in the second half. We've got the second half kickoff coming up. Air Force on top of Navy, 17-7. The world's closest shave, and by Nissan. Back here in Annapolis, Maryland, we get set for the second half kickoff. Navy will receive to begin the second half, down 17-7. O'Day tees it up at the 35-yard line for the Air Force Academy. And here we go, second half action underway. It's a wobbler that will send Whitaker back inside his end zone. He's going to come out. He's across the 20-yard line. And he is sandwiched at about the 24-yard line. Well, just a few moments ago, she and Stanwyck got a chance to catch up with Paul Johnson, the head coach of the Naval Academy.
Coach Johnson, thanks for being with me. What do you guys got to do different in the second half?
We just got to play better. We got to take care of the ball on offense and not give up the big plays on defense. You know, we've got a chance. We're right. We got a chance. We're all right.
Good luck. Thanks so much.
All right, Sheehan, thank you. Paul Johnson, who is always very composed, watching him run practice on Thursday, just wandering around the playing field as they ran through one drill after another to get ready for this ball game. And now getting ready for the second half to get underway. Matt Hall begins the second half for Navy and is spun down maybe a half a yard ahead of the line of scrimmage by the Air Force Academy defense. And this is a very good defense, too. And Fowler is one of the better ones coming out of that secondary.
And you talk about halftime adjustments, Tom. What came out of that first half was them feeding the fullback consistently right down that last drive. All of a sudden, you make that adjustment. You're going to start keying on him a little more. That might be why Navy might want to get the ball on the outside perimeter.
Hall, 11 carries, 37 yards. Little misdirection. Owens running to his left is tracked down from behind. Chris Sutton, number 6, was in on the tackle for the Falcons. I'm not sure if that was a botched play or not, Scott.
I think that's just a misdirection right there. It looked like a botched play, but Owens did a good job keeping that, because if you take a look at it right here, here he comes off the fake. All of a sudden, you're coming back to the backside. Now, right there, he sees guys on the outside taking away the pitch, coming up in pursuit. So he did a good job just turning it up inside.
Lamar Owens, in his first year as a starting quarterback, is 46 yards on the ground so far in this ball game. Took so many reps as the backup quarterback to Aaron Polanco last year, even the year before. He throws, has Nelson for a first down to the 39-yard line. And it's a gain of 11. So it'll be the first down of this half for the midshipmen. Great story this past week in the Annapolis newspapers about Marco Nelson, who basically was put in charge of his brothers and sisters at a very young age, and still is in charge of the discipline for those kids. If they do something wrong, mom calls up and says, "What do you think we should do?" It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I called the big brother.
On first down, Navy gains maybe 1 to the 39-yard line. It's second down and 9.
Yeah, it's a second good stop by the fullback for the Air Force defense on this drive. As you can see them starting to take that fullback out of the option. Navy does need to counter with something there. I think that's why we saw the misdirection, why they try to get it to the outside. Maybe it's time to pop that play action pass in again.
Well, they need to get to the 48-yard line for first down. Here's the play fake by Owens to the near side. Has Tomlinson for first down, and it could be more. One man to beat. He beats him.
say play action, Tom?
That was a beautiful play fake by Owens, and Tomlinson with a very good one-on-one route to the near side. And for Tomlinson,
watch
Owens'
Owens.
First touchdown reception of the year.
Watch Owens right here on the play fake. He gets up, he keeps his eyes downfield. Now he waits for his receiver to give that first in move. Nice job allowing him to get it to the outside. Tomlinson shook him out of his shoes. Great route.
And now the point after by Bullen. He is good. So again, it's a close ball game, 17-14. Paul Johnson said his team needs to play better. Well, the first drive is an indication that his halftime chat was the right one. They're back within 3. 17-14, Lamar Owens feeling the intensity from the crowd. He needed to make a big play to begin the second half, and he certainly did. Paul Johnson with some words of advice, and the midshipman got a chance to do some push-ups. Now within 3, 17-14. Bullen, who seems to have gotten the kinks out with his kickoffs, has a pretty good kickoff there. Allis will take it inside the 5, and the former quarterback sprints across the 35. And he's out of bounds. Bullen knocks him out of bounds at the 44. And that's where Air Force Scott will begin its first possession of the second half.
That's a nice kick return right there. Good job by Air Force setting up the wedge, giving him a lane. You can see it was kick return called to the right side. He found that sideline. You talk about field position, Tom, being able to come out for the second half. And right there, you look at the scoring drive for Navy. 5 plays, 76 yards, 220. Thanks to the 71 yards of passing by Owens that drive. He got it cranked up. That's big-time confidence for that kid right there.
Yeah, Owens is at 46 yards running the ball, 105 yards passing the ball. Carney has been just as good. And now a flag comes out from the line judge before the play was called.
Good ball. False start. 88 offense. 5-50. Still first.
So a false start called on Air Force. That moves the ball back another 5 yards to the 39-yard line. Hey, both teams did a very good job in the first half with penalties. Now, you would normally assume that that would happen, but last week against Duke, Navy had 9 penalties in that ball game. That's very uncharacteristic of them. On 1st and 15, Carney to throw. To the outside, it's complete. Kirkwood, who has the touchdown, gets back across the original line of scrimmage before he is knocked out of bounds by, among others, Jeremy Chase, the left end, number 49, and Rayshawn King, the freshman, number 18.
That's a nice job by the Navy defense, continuing to do that shift up front. That's why Air Force got called for that false start. You have the Air Force offense watching the Navy players do that shift right before the snap. Thus, they jump the gun. They got to sit in there and hold their water, listen to the quarterback's cadence.
Well, they should be used to it after a couple of years with Carney as the signal caller. The handoff goes to Jacoby Kendrick, and he gets up to the 49-yard line. Gain of about 4. Let's check in with Sheehan Stanwyck. Hello, Sheehan.
Hello, I'm here with 2 Navy fans, Bill and William. There's just tremendous school spirit at both Navy and at Air Force. You have Navy and the whole brigade cheering everybody on, and Air Force actually flew in 1,000 cadets last night to come to this game. They waited in line, got their tickets, and they are here in Annapolis, Maryland to support their team.
Well, and it was a great sight, Sheehan, to see before the ball game. Not only the brigade come onto the field, but also those 1,000 cadets come onto the field as well. All part of the great ceremony of football at the academies. Carney with a pitch to the near side. And it's a first down for Air Force as the pitch goes to Chad Smith, the sophomore. And he's down to the 42-yard line before he's taken down. You know, we talk so much, Scott, about this option and just the number of guys that get involved.
Oh, coming down the line right there. He's looking at Mahoney the whole way. All of a sudden, they're starting to string the quarterback out now, forcing him to go to the pitch.
There's Smith, some anguish as he walks off the field. Had a touchdown reception earlier in the ball game. Part of the 17 points that Air Force has put on the board. The offense for both squads moving the ball quite well to start this second half. Carney hands it off to Kendrick, and he goes right into the belly before he dives forward to the 40-yard line. Biles, number 52, was in on the tackle. Chase, 49. Caldwell, 57. And Kendrick is a big dude to take down. At 6 foot, 230 pounds.
That's a bruising fullback right there. And you mentioned Biles, linebacker, number 52. It's the second time this game he stepped up right into the hole. He's anticipating that play. Something's keying him on that offensive front where he's able to read that pre-snap.
It'll be second down, and we'll say 9 to go for first down. Carney to throw. Pocket collapsing, sandwiched by Mahoney and taken down at the 49-yard line. The third sack of the season for David Mahoney. And he got right into the grill of Sean Carney.
Oh, he sure did. And that's one thing as a quarterback that's one of the most difficult things to do is to trust your protection. He knows that he is fully protected right here. You look at the strong side. Mahoney just comes around like it's a swinging gate. Now Carney's expected to be picked up front side. That's why his eyes are downfield all the time.
Well, we said that the Air Force offensive line has allowed 5 sacks on the year coming into this ball game. And that's in 5 games. That's a pretty good average. Under 9.5 to play in the third quarter. Kirkwood, nice grab in front of his body, gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll be 4th down and 10 for Air Force.
Yeah, it was just a mismatch on the last play, though. You had Kip McCarthy, you get little halfback, number 17, one-on-one blocking with Mahoney. I guarantee you they get back to the sideline, rearrange your protection. You want a big tackle on that guy.
So Navy will force Air Force to punt the football. Donnie Heaton on the punt the ball for only the 2nd time. We saw him punt earlier on the first drive for Air Force. Interesting formation. And with the wall, he gets a good high kickoff. Tomlinson will let it bounce inside the 10. But the coverage is there. Right place, right time was Mark Carlson, who last year had 77 tackles for Air Force, has been moved to the Falcon position and is a key on special teams. He was a key right there. Navy will have it at the 6 when we return.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call the number on your screen for a free DVD or video and check it out. Bowflex's Power Rod technology delivers results. Powerful arms, defined legs, a stronger chest, and a toned, sexy core. And owning a Bowflex home gym is so affordable. Great results are easy with a new Extreme. All it takes is one simple workout, 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, to get in the best shape of your life.
On their cardboard boxes, but that is standing room only for this afternoon's ball game. 34,000 is the capacity. They expect a record crowd of maybe 37,000. It's a good ball game as Owens will throw, and he's into the end zone as the pocket collapses. Drew Fowler came in.
Oh, they're giving him, the linesman came in, and they're giving him forward progress where the initial contact happened on this side, the playing field side of the goal line, which eliminates a safety. They're going to reset it. It's going to be 2nd down.
Wow, at about the half-yard line, Fowler came slamming in. 3rd on the team in tackles, and Owens just didn't see him coming.
This is what they do. They go back to the well with the play action. But you see, it looked like he had his progress already taking him into the end zone. So that's a close call right there.
Well, the officials mark it on the half-yard line. Nelson's trying to run out of the end zone, and he is spun over by Paffett, number 19. So no gain on the play, and it will now be 3rd down and long for the midshipmen.
Boy, Paffett really did a nice job reading that play, coming up, making that stick. And these guys, these secondary people, the cornerbacks, the free safeties, they have this knack about tackling without the ability to wrap their hands. They lower their shoulder and get you down. They just cut you down like a tree.
Under 7.5 to play in this third quarter. 3rd down and 15. Navy needs to get past the 17-yard line. The handoff to Ballard. And the fullback gets a couple of yards of breathing room, but then gets stood up at the 4-yard line. So it'll be 4th down. Hey, fans, tune in next weekend for more exciting Navy football on CSTV as the Golden Flashes of Kent State invade Annapolis. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern with the Nissan College Football pregame show, followed by Kent State and Navy next Saturday only on CSTV.
Well, that's what we talked about at halftime. Critical field position for Navy. This is not where they wanted to start drives.
And Shuey will kick out of his end zone. It's a high kick, but it's a short kick. And it's going to bounce into the hands of Sutton, waiting on the 39. Good coverage by Navy. So good field position for Air Force, as they will have it inside the 40-yard line of Navy when we return. Fans an opportunity to not only bring the families out, but also the tailgating that goes on prior to the start of these ball games is just like any other collegiate town. And right now we're locked in a pretty good one with Air Force on top 17-14, and on their first play of this drive from the 36-yard line, Kendrick is able to bounce his way across the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Fisher DeBerry, the third longest tenured coach in college football, to Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden. And boy, has he had success in his 22-year run. Carney hands it off again to his fullback, and he's got a first down to the 25-yard line. 3 of the last 4 games, Carney has been able to throw for more than 200 yards. Well, today he has thrown for 111 yards and really hasn't needed to always go to the air against this Navy defense, at least not right now, but we know he can do it.
Oh, and that's the thing. And right there before the half, if he didn't bust off that 13, 14-yard run right there, there wouldn't even been a pass attempt, and that's where he gets the big gainer.
Ryan Williams, number 45, is the fullback, and we've got movement in the defensive side of the ball. Larry Silk, number 98, tapped helmets with John Wilson, number 56. And the flag came flying from the outside.
Ball side, 52 defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I don't think Wilson took too kindly to that, Tom.
Nope. Jake Biles, number 52, called for the penalty. Let's see if we can see it. Well,
there you go.
Wilson talked
That's a hat on the hat.
Yeah, he talked about the matchup with Silk. I mean, he was looking forward to that matchup. The coaches were too, because the size is there for both. I mean, they match up very well from a size standpoint. On 1st and 5, Chad Hall skips his way to the 18-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and short. Hey, fans, coming up tomorrow at 8, it's the #1 college sports show, CSTV's Power Hour for college sports fans. Get all the latest scores, highlights, and analysis, and the most compelling stories in college sports. This week, well, I'll tell you what, there's so much going on with college football. There's so much to see this week, a whole host of highlights. Catch the #1 college sports show on CSTV tomorrow at 8 Eastern. On 2nd down and short, again they go to Chad Hall, who knifes his way down to the 10-yard line. Hall, who ran for 100 yards last week, the first halfback to run for 100 yards since 2003, and Scott, the option.
What Carney's looking at right there is Mahoney coming off the edge. He sticks his helmet right underneath his chin to keep the poise that Carney had and to make that pitch. That was outstanding.
All right, you were 6'5" in high school. I mean, you were a big quarterback.
I'm an option target. No, that's one of the last things you want me to do. I'll sit in the pocket better than any of them.
Just saw the red zone efficiency. 1st and goal from inside the 10. Williams pounds his way inside the 7-yard line. Yeah, it takes a certain kind of quarterback that can run the option, whether it be Lamar Owens, whether it be Sean Carney. Owens ran it in high school, so he was used to it. Carney, well, he worked out of the shotgun when he was at high school, but he went to the Air Force prep school, which certainly helped him know this offense. And you know, the coach,
that's huge.
Yeah, the coaches talked about that. They wish that every kid could go to the prep school. 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. In motion is Handley. The pitch comes to him on the outside, and he's into the end zone. Last-ditch effort. He eluded his defender, DeJuan Price, and he gets the score for Air Force.
Give Carney credit again here, Tom. He takes another shot from Mahoney. 2nd one in a row. He holds on to the last second. He makes the pitch, and then it's one-on-one from that point on. You see Handley coming in motion right here. And that's one of the nice things. You saw Navy do it with Whitaker. They got him going outside in motion. He gets a little bit of a speed behind him. It allows him to go north and south. They're already moving forward. It just gets some momentum going for him.
So Handley in for the score. It's his 2nd touchdown of the year. And Eberle is now on for the point after. Donnie Heaton, the holder. Brian Jones, the long snapper. And this one's got plenty of leg. and it gives Air Force a 24-14 lead thanks to a 7-yard touchdown run by Justin Handley. And it's all about the decision, Scott, of Carney.
Oh, and it's about reading things. He's going to come off the fake, and you're going to see the end zone shot right here. Carney's going to come down the line right here, and he's going to do that little stutter step right in here. Right there, the stutter step. His eyes are upfield. There's the freeze. That baits Mahoney in. Then, boom, there's the pitch outside to Handley. Nice job on the read.
As we said, shoulder to shoulder with DeJuan Price. And Air Force takes a 10-point lead. We've seen Navy bounce back before. And the cadets, who are on the opposite side of the field from the midshipmen, are on the Air Force side of the field. And they've got a 10-point lead to cheer about right now. And Fisher DeBerry, who, as we said, is the third longest tenured head coach in college football, 163 victories. He's 34-8 in commander-in-chief ball games. That's a pretty impressive run.
Oh, it's very impressive. But we heard from Paul Johnson at the half. He feels his team is fine. Key is here. They need a nice return. Be wise if he keeps it in the end zone here.
Yeah, he went around the checkerboard and put his knee down. Sheehan Stanwyck has joined us again. Hello, Sheehan.
No doubt about it. This game means so much with the Commander-in-Chief trophy on the line. We heard Sean Carney talking about, he said, you know, Navy's got the trophy. We need it back. Fisher DeBerry talked about they've got an empty trophy case back at Air Force, and that trophy case is not inexpensive. They need to fill it. Both these teams want the trophy. They need it now, and both are very hungry.
Well, and she and Fisher talked about that trophy case. He said it's like his wife's expensive vases at home. They don't have flowers in it, so all they are expensive vases. That's what the trophy case is. All it is an empty, expensive trophy case right now. On 1st and 10, Hall is pushed back for a loss of 1. Poland came up from his Falcon position to help make that tackle. Nelson Mitchell, number 78, was there as well. You have to be a pretty good athlete to be in that Falcon position, Scott, that 3-3-5 defense.
Yeah, and you talk about a guy like Poland, and he is the weak Falcon. Talking about a weak Falcon, he's on the weak side of the ball. They usually get Tybee involved on the strong side, but it's all about reading. It's about reading your keys. Here they come with the option again and give it to the big fullback right up the gut.
Well, that's great blocking, too, by the offensive line for Navy to spring Matt Hall for not only the first down, but some more yards. And the offense really stepped up and opened up that path for Matt Hall.
Yeah, Navy comes out the second half. They run the fullback, stuff him, stuff him, stuff him. Get the offensive line right there. Credit. You see big number 70, Dan Wendelowski, walling off the backside. When you get those big bodies on big bodies, you don't necessarily need long, enduring blocks. Just crease them a little bit.
On another first down, Nelson takes the pitch. Runs into his own man, knocks Campbell to the ground, doesn't stop him. He gets to the 46-yard line. And the 46 of Air Force. So it's a gain of 20 yards from Marco Nelson.
Continue to get guys in motion. That's the thing. That's the key for both sides of the ball. They did it with Handley on the last drive. Air Force did. But you saw Whitaker do it in the first half. Now they're starting to get Nelson involved on the backside. I like what Navy's doing. They're changing things up. They don't just stay with the same thing.
Under 3 minutes to play in this third quarter. 10-point lead for Air Force. Whitaker's the man in motion. Hall's the man with the football. And on first down, he gets maybe 3 before he is pulled back from behind. So it'll be second down and 7 yards to go for the midshipmen.
And you can tell that that's a called play all the way right there. It's just a reverse out by the quarterback. Owens hands it to him. Any other time, he's got his head upfield trying to read what the linebackers are doing, whether they're converging down on the fullback. Should I take the ball out? You saw him right there. He just turns and hands it to him.
57 yards now for Hall. He had a lot of those yards, Scott, at the end of the first half on that one big drive. Owens to throw on second down. Slings it to the near side for Tomlinson, and the big body makes the reception along the sidelines. That is a heck of a pass from Lamar Owens as he split Carson Bird, number 2, and Ty Pappett, number 19, the 2 defenders, to get that ball in there.
That's an outstanding pass. He had to zing it here. You take a look. You're going to see him drop back here off the thing, and you're going to see the free safety. It's going to be a cover 2. Now, when he drops back to pass, he's going to keep his eyes upfield, and he's going to have to zing it to that outside hole. He doesn't want that safety to react and come over to the sideline. You see him really put everything into that pass, and and you see the safety come over and make the hit, prevent the touchdown.
And Tomlinson now 4 catches over 100 yards on the afternoon. It's first and goal from the 6-yard line. Owens rolls to his left. He's going to keep it himself. Being tracked down from behind by Fowler. And Fowler was there to help after the wall of defenders knocked him back. Shaner was there as well. There's Fowler, number 33, who helped make that tackle for the Falcons.
This is a good job, Navy, coming back after the Air Force touchdown. They've done this consistently. They got to do it to stay in this football game. We're almost heading into the 4th quarter. Look for that motion to come. Here comes Whitaker back into the game. Look for him to be in that slot, come in motion, and possibly get the pitch outside.
Yeah, he and Nelson have very good speed in these goal line offensive stance. Nelson's in motion. Hall, though, has the ball. And he dives inside the 5-yard line. There's a flag down. That came from the field judge on the near side. So Hall picks up a couple of extra yards. Nelson Mitchell, number 78, in on the tackle. Paul Johnson peeking in to see if he can get a read on who the penalty's against. I believe it's against Navy.
Legal motion, 33 offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
I have to admit, Scott, I don't know the option offense as well as you do, as well as Paul Johnson does. I didn't see that Whitaker shifted too early, but I mean, the officials are right down there taking a look.
Well, the problem is you already have a guy going in motion. If Nelson's in motion and all of a sudden Whitaker, all you got to do is flinch, they're going to throw that flag. I didn't see the flinch, Tom. He was the back set to the right side, Nelson to the left. They brought Nelson from left to right in motion.
So now 2nd and goal. It gets a little tougher because it's at the 11-yard line of Air Force. Owens steps back, quarterback draw. To the left side, he gets to the 5 before he's taken down. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 5. Fowler, number 33, again was in on the tackle, helped out by Chris Sutton, number 6.
Sutton's had some big hits throughout the course of this game. That's the 2nd time Navy's gone trips to one side. They did it early in the 1st half. They run that quarterback draw out of trips to the open side of the field.
So now 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line, Scott. Campbell comes out, number 7. Whitaker, bottom of your screen, comes running in for the midshipman. And the clock is winding down in this 3rd quarter. 8 seconds, though, on the play clock, and that's winding down as well. Whitaker's in motion. The pitch is fake to him. Owens rolls to the near side. Looking to throw, may have to run, bounces out of bounds at about the 4. Bobby Giannini, number 11, was there on the tackle. And now Paul Johnson has a decision to make. There's Giannini, the leading tackler for Air Force. Last year he was 3rd on the squad in tackles.
Yeah, you see Giannini right there, number 11. Good job reading, staying at home. He's reading his keys. He's looking for the receiver. All of a sudden Owens commits to the run. That's when he makes the decision, come up, and he lays the hit on him to knock him out of bounds. Good effort by Owens. And this is a good decision here by Paul Johnson. He's going to kick the field goal. You kick it here, you cut it to 7, and then you just let your chips fall where they may.
Well, you got a full quarter of football left to play. There's the injured player for Air Force, Gilberto Perez, playing the left end position. Now Perez is the normal player on that left end, but they usually bring Eric Anderson, 6'8", 285 pounds, into the ball game as well. But Fisher DeBerry said he wasn't sure how Anderson, with his size, would be able to handle the cut blocking that's on that's put into this kind of ball game. So he may not play that much, and we really haven't seen Anderson that much.
And that's the thing we talked about, last night into today. And a lot of times you get this option offense, and we've seen it with the Delaware wing tee, where you just line up and hit people in front of you.
Yep.
That's not the case. It's a finesse offense. It's blocks on blocks. It's guys coming in and chopping, and little cut blocks, and it's all finesse.
Well, Perez walks off the field under his own power. Hey, fans, do you live for college football? Then you can't live without CSTV All Access College Football. Your ultimate ticket to all the action this season. Get hundreds of live game broadcasts and exclusive access to news, stats, scores, highlights, press conferences, you name it. CSTV All Access College Football. Sign up now at CSTV.com. Bullen is on for the field goal attempt. The holder is Brian Hampton, the backup quarterback. He's just outside the 10-yard line from the near hash mark. Bullen 1 for 2 with field goals this year. 39-yarder is the one that he's made. He's gotten better and better as the weeks have gone on. He was on the collegiate sprint team last year at the Naval Academy. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and he blasts it through the uprights. And it's back to a 7-point game. It's 24-17 as the clock sits at 10 seconds left to play in this third quarter. Hey fans, don't forget later tonight CSTV's Football Nation continues. Nissan College Football pregame show at 7:30, followed by a Conference USA matchup as the Golden Hurricane travel to take on the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi. Tulsa at Southern Miss. Coverage begins tonight at 7:30 on CSTV. 7-point lead for the Air Force Academy. We anticipated, Scott, that there would be points put up, there would be yards put up. Fisher DeBerry was hoping that his team not only put points up, but put good points up, touchdowns instead of field goals. Well, each team now has had to settle for one field goal apiece during the course of this ball game.
The big thing is, too, you got to consider that there are some big plays in the passing game that have happened today. And so many times you see these two offenses, and we talked, and you think you're going to get a boring game. You think you're going to get run. It's 3 plays and out. You're going to punt. You're going to play field position. But both quarterbacks have the potential to come off the fake. You know, they institute the play action. They buy time. And they got some nice wide receivers that can make plays downfield. And that's the difference in the football game right now.
Bullen will tee it up at the 35. He just rolls this across the carpet, picked up by one of the up men inside the 20-yard line. And taken down at the 35-yard line is number 13, Andy Gray. And flags came in very late after that. Let's take a look at this scoring drive for Navy. They did an awful lot, Scott, as you said, throwing the ball, passing the ball.
Well, here's the thing. You see the big fullback. He gets it going up the middle. He was stuffed on the beginning of the drive. Play action fake, and you see him just zing it right in the hole to Tomlinson. And here he is coming off the roll. Look at Giannini coming up to make the stick. Forces him to kick a field goal, and that's why we're sitting at 24-17 right now.
After the play, personal foul, 10, personal foul, 10 receiving team, those fouls offset.
So offsetting personal fouls. There's a lot of action going on the sidelines.
Physical game today.
Take a look at the scoring drive that we just saw for Navy. 9 plays, 77 yards. 4 minutes of time gone by. Each team pretty even with their plays today. For Air Force, 44 plays. For Navy, 46 plays.
The big thing, Tomlinson, they got to find the ball. They got to find a way to get him the rock some more. I mean, he's got 2 touches for 114 yards. That's big time play capability right there.
It's his first career 100-yard receiving day. He's got that touchdown to talk about as well. On first down, Carney hands it off. And Rob Caldwell, number 57, makes the tackle. The run by Chad Smith, and that's the end of the third quarter. 1 more quarter to go. Look at Caldwell's face. Look at the midshipman. We got a ball game. 24-17, Air Force on top. Fourth quarter when we return. 7-point Air Force lead as we begin the fourth quarter. It'll be second down for Sean Carney and the Falcons. And the handoff goes to Williams, his fullback, who gets across the 40 and is down at about the 41.5-yard line. Air Force on top 24-17. But Scott, look at what they have done in the fourth quarter of ball games compared to Navy.
It's amazing. They're scoring 43% of their points in the fourth quarter. Now you can look at it 2 ways. They're either coming back in a lot of games, which they are, and that's why you're scoring points, or else you're steamrolling people, you're chewing up yardage, and you're scoring points that way. When you look at the record, you see them sitting there at 2 and 3. I think you have to say, hey, they're coming back a lot.
And Sean Carney has been durable enough to keep his team within reach in that fourth quarter. On third down, he'll run, and he's going to be stopped shy of the first down. Defense for Navy stood their ground. Caldwell was in there. So was Larry Silk. And Jake Biles, number 52, helped out by Tyler Tidwell, number 45. A whole host of defenders there. And once they saw that there was a crack, they filled it very quickly.
Boy, coming off the sideline right now, the big center for Air Force, John Wilson. He's the last one off the field. He says he wants to go for it here.
Well, fourth down at about a yard from the 44-yard line. Probably the better thing to do is to kick the football.
You gotta punt it.
Eaton is going to punt it away. He's a good one. And this kick is going to go out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Again, depending on where the official spots it, he'll spot it on the 23-yard line. pretty good spot. 13:40 to play in the fourth quarter. A 7-point game. Navy with the ball when we return. 24-17 the score. Air Force is on top by 7 with 13:40 to play in this fourth quarter. Beautiful Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium rededicated today. They've done so much work on it, and it is a great place to watch some college football. And for Navy on first down, they get a run of about 8 yards from Reggie Campbell, number 7. So he's only going to be a couple of yards shy of that first down. And again, both teams mixing it up with the guys they're using.
That's what you want. He had a nice catch in the first half. He fumbled it, recovered it. Now he contributes on the run. You're facing the 2nd and 2. That's what Paul Johnson wants from his offensive football team right now. Convertible sticks. You want to move the sticks. You want to get it down. Give your team a chance to win this football game here in the fourth quarter.
Navy with 286 yards of total offense. On second down, they need a couple. Ballard gets a couple. And he'll be taken down with an ankle tackle at about the 38-yard line. Gain of 6 for the midshipmen. Ballard, one of 2 fullbacks that Paul Johnson uses, the sophomore from Louisville, Texas, and Marcus High School. He is the taller of the 2 at 6'1", 240 pounds. Matt Hall, 5'10", 216 pounds. Everything seems to be even statistically, including the first down markers. And Ballard again will gain 2 this time on 1st and 10 from the 38. Scott, this is an Air Force defense that allowed last week 551 yards of total offense. Overall, they've allowed 426 yards of total offense on average. They've done a better job today, but then again, Navy's defense has done a better job today.
Yeah, they have. But when you're talking about Air Force and the 551 they gave up last week, that's almost an average of 7.8 yards per play, which is unacceptable right now if they want to get to where they want to be.
Navy needs to get to the 48-yard line for a first down. Owens will keep it himself, and he's taken down from behind. Fowler, number 33, in on the tackle once again. So is John Raybold, the sophomore. Hey, fans, Wednesday night at 7, gaze deeply into the coming weekend of college football with the fortune tellers of CSTV's Crystal Ball, presented by Xbox Live. Join the Crystal Ball crew as they predict all that will come to pass on the field and off, with a little help from highlights, analysis, news, features, and special guests. It's Crystal Ball, presented by Xbox Live, Wednesday at 7, only on CSTV. Navy needs 3 yards for a first down. Play clock winds under 5. The pitch goes to Nelson. And that little area he had was closed up not only by Eric Anderson, number 80, who we just talked about a few moments ago, but also Denny Poland, number 27. And Paul Johnson now is faced with a similar decision that Fisher DeBerry had on their last series.
Oh, he's got a kick here. You can't even think about it. You're on this side of the 50. It's your own side. It'd be different if he was down over on the plus 40, plus 41. Then, yeah, maybe you think about going for it. But you're still talking. There's 11 minutes now. We're down under 11 minutes left in the game. You got to kick it here. This is a smart decision.
And, Scotty, you got to watch here, too, because although you see Chris Sutton go back, Air Force has blocked 90 kicks since 1990. They can get in the face of a punter. And Shuey had plenty of time to get this one off. A late signal by Sutton for the fair catch. So Air Force has it, 19-yard line. It's 19 with 10:39 left to play in the fourth quarter. The Falcons with a 7-point lead.
Are you still being charged too much for internet service? Still waiting for a better deal? Well, your wait is over. With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for just $10.95 a month. And you get accelerated.
Forces of this Navy secondary broke his arm last week against Duke. He's out 3 to 5 weeks. He broke it in the second quarter, played the rest of the game. Didn't realize it was broken. But there you see him in a sling. So that's a piece to this defensive puzzle that Navy has not had all afternoon.
Oh, and he's been big, too. Third in the team in tackles and 21 on the year. And Air Force really hasn't attacked his counterpart yet. I guess Keenan Little, number 4, he's getting most of the work, a junior. Yeah, he's a pretty undersized kid, 5'11", only about $185. You think they may take a shot here at him.
And Little had that interception earlier in this ball game, so he's filled in nicely. McGowan, just a junior from Houston, Texas. A very good defender for the midshipmen. They hope he's back before the end of the year. Second down and 4 for Air Force. Carney hands it off to Williams, who has seen a good portion of the offensive load from the fullback position during this second half. He gains maybe 1.
It's amazing how both these teams will pound the fullback, whether they're only getting a yard, 2 yards, and then boom, it's right then when they spring that 11 to 13 yarder, which frees them up.
Well, we've seen two very good days today by receivers. Jason Tomlinson has 114 yards receiving for Navy, and on the flip side, Kirkwood has 3 catches for 65 yards for Air Force. We've seen Jason Brown, too, who was actually the leading receiver for Air Force, get into the mix, but that was early in the ball game. A late pitch to Handley, and it's read perfectly by the Navy defense. Not only to hit Sean Carney, but also to cover the pitchman.
And you talk about Sean Carney, I guarantee you what Navy has done defensively. They have assigned number 40 Mahoney to him. He's the guy that has been in his ear since the second half has started. Forced Carney to make the pitch there, even though he didn't want to make it. They had 3 people outside waiting for the pitchman. They had that the option defense perfectly there.
Eaton is averaging just over 38 yards per punt today. He stands inside his 10. Tomlinson at his 40. They're going to roll away from Tomlinson and force him to pick this one up off the carpet, and he's not going to pick it up. What a roll this was for Air Force. It'll be stopped at the 29-yard line, so that's where Navy will begin. Down by 7 with 8:37 left to play in the 4th quarter. Sirius Satellite Radio. Want more than just radio? Get Sirius Satellite Radio. Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium is a place that Fisher DeBerry's seniors have not seen before, at least the way it's presented now. Because the last handful of games when it's Navy's home game, Paul Johnson's squad has played at FedEx Field in the home of the Washington Redskins in Virginia. Well, this home crowd is watching a pretty good one with Navy down by 7. Matt Hall on first down will be pushed back by Gilberto Perez, number 55. So it's a loss of nearly 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Boy, Perez has had a nice game today. Very active in the backfield. He's been there several times. Key plays early to stop the big fullback from getting things going.
Slowed by a groin injury, Scotty, earlier in the season, and he shows no ill effects of that injury in this ball game.
Oh, he doesn't like he has to run a 40 or go out for a pass. So. Tape it up and go, but those big guys. 6'3", 275. He's got nice size.
2nd down and 11 for the midshipmen. They need to get to the 39-yard line for a first down. Owens to throw. Everybody's covered. He can run. He's going to try to follow some blockers. He's going to switch to the opposite side of the field, but Overton Spence, the senior linebacker, was there to take him down after a gain of maybe 1 back to the original line of scrimmage.
Trying to make a play. He's looking downfield instead of throwing it up and throwing a costly interception. Maybe do a throwaway, but he got back to the line of scrimmage. Nice job by his lineman peeling back, trying to create a lane for him to get to.
All right, now, Scott, the Paul Johnson squad is 5 of 11 on 3rd down. With 7:25 and counting left to play, you know Air Force can choose some clock. I mean, this is a big 3rd down right now.
This is crucial. At some point, you do need to open it up a little bit.
3rd down and 9. Owens to throw. Has blockers, has time. His men are covered, though. He's looking to throw to the middle. Incomplete. Tyree Barnes, the very talented freshman, stepped up. But as he went down to the turf, the football was a little underthrown, and Bobby Giannini was there in the coverage.
Yeah, he had all day to throw the football. You take a look right here. What he's looking downfield. What he's seeing is 8 guys dropping underneath. All Air Force is doing is rushing 2 guys. So when you're able to do that, you're able to drop almost 9. Makes it almost impossible to find a hole to throw the football into.
Shuey with his 4th punt of the afternoon is averaging just under 38 yards per kick. He's going to get this one off without any problem, and it's a good kick. It's going to move Chris Sutton back inside the 25-yard line, and very good coverage by Reggie Campbell to take him down. Well, you need some of those starters to play on special teams, and when they do play on special teams, you count on their athleticism, and that's what Campbell showed right there. Hey fans, your college fantasy is finally a reality. CSTV Fantasy College Football presented by Citi offers an exciting format that is unique to the college game. Create your own league and invite your friends to play, or join a public league and test your skills against other fans. Play for free at CSTV.com. Air Force with a first down from the Falcons' 23-yard line. Carney on the afternoon, 6 of 7, 111 yards. And he hands it off to Williams, who bounces away from the defensive line to get to the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 3.
And you look at some of the touchdown drive charts, both teams have the potential to chew up clock. I'm talking 7 minutes or more. So it isn't that far of a remote possibility that Air Force couldn't get 4 first downs right here and run this thing all the way down to 0-0.
Well, Air Force's first drive of the game, 6 minutes and 24 seconds. The first scoring drive for Navy was 7 minutes and 41 seconds. So you're right, both teams can chew up the clock with 6:25 and counting left to play. On second down, Carney keeps it himself, steps inside, and he explodes across the 45-yard line before he's taken down for first down to the 46. It's a gain of nearly 20 yards by Carney.
Jason Montz, number 1, the outside linebacker for Navy. Carney's coming down. He sees all the people outside. Great job choosing to cut it up. If he doesn't make that tackle right there, he's running to the house.
And for Carney now, 74 yards on the ground. He averages over 186 yards, or averages 186 yards of total offense per game. Well, right now, he's at 185 total yards.
I can't remember the last time he made a bad decision today.
The interception probably that Keenan Little picked off in the end zone.
Yeah, you could even almost contribute that it's almost a wet football, and that's like throwing a wet brick.
Ball sits on the 46-yard line. It's first down and 10. Navy defense today is allowed exactly 300 yards of total offense. Carney on first down, off the play fake, drops back, and his pass is short, intended for Chad Hall on the outside. Tune in next weekend for more exciting Navy football. We'll be right back here in Annapolis as CSTV's coverage has the Golden Flashes of Kent State invading Annapolis. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern with the Nissan College Football pregame show, followed by Kent State and Navy next Saturday only on CSTV. Paul Johnson talked about this week about the fact that Navy continues to be an independent, that it helps because they schedule so many different teams. They don't have to be strapped into a conference schedule, and that is true. Williams on second down gets up to the 49-yard line. And Scotty, meanwhile, for Air Force, I mean, in the Mountain West Conference, a very good conference. They have 8 conference games. They play Army and Navy, so there's 10 games right off the bat. So it limits them, and it limits Fisher DeBerry as to what he's going to do outside of the games he has to play.
Oh, it sure does. And you look at some of the games coming up for them: UNLV, TCU, BYU, and of course, you got that Army game circled for them.
And think about the games they've played already against Washington, San Diego State, which is outside the conference, Wyoming.
Games they've been down by double digits, and they've come back from in the fourth quarter.
They need to get to the 44 of Navy for first down. Carney on third down is taken down by Mahoney, who spun off of the blocker and was able to stay with his man.
Boy, he's having one heck of a game here in the second half. Talk about being one of the most active guys in the backfield. Nice job shedding the block, making the tackle, and he was accounted for in that play.
Mahoney, who makes his home in Fort Myers, Florida. For a lot of these guys, though, they spend their off time here at the academy or abroad, doing one piece of service after another from year to year. Heaton with a very good punt, and actually this one's going to slide into the end zone. He did that on the run, and he forces the touchback for Navy. There's David Mahoney, number 40. Coming into this year, he was considered the leader of this linebacking crew. And the linebackers have stepped up, and Mahoney is stepping up today. CSTV's Football Nation will continue this evening with the Nissan College Football pregame show at 7:30 with Adam Zucker and Brian Curtis, followed by a Conference USA matchup as the Golden Hurricane travel take on the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss. Tulsa at Southern Miss. Coverage begins tonight at 7:30 Eastern on CSTV. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to play in this fourth quarter. Navy down by a score, 80 yards from potentially tying this ball game. Matt Hall on first down gains 4. Let's head to New York with Game Tracker Live and Adam Zucker. Adam.
All right, guys, thanks. Wisconsin no longer undefeated. Northwestern does it 51-48. Tyler Sutton, the freshman, with over 230 yards rushing. And Army, it's a 10-game losing streak now after losing to Central Michigan in their first meeting. Tom and Scott, back to you guys. More scores after the game.
John, thank you very much. I mean, who would have saw that much offense in a Wisconsin-Northwestern game? I mean, truly, who would have saw that?
Not Barry Alvarez. 51 points from Northwestern. I'd get out of Dodge too, Tom.
Well, he picked up that victory. What was it, against Michigan? The first time he had beaten Michigan.
I think Michigan's a little down this year.
Well, it's 3rd down and 5 here in Annapolis with 3:31 and counting left to play in the 4th quarter. We talked about a 3rd down being big the last time Navy had the ball. Well, now that they have it back with 3:20 and counting left to play, this one's even bigger. 5 yards for a 1st down. Owens to throw. Pockets collapsing. Oh, he is elusive when he gets it to the open field. And Fowler and Poland take him down maybe 1.5 yards shy of a 1st down.
Boy, and he took a shot. He knew exactly where those sticks were. No sliding right there. He lowered the shoulder. He was looking. They had trip set to the left side of the field, but nothing downfield for Owens.
And Paul Johnson burns a timeout. I mean, it's decision time on 4th down with 3:02 left to play in this 4th quarter. See the percentage, Scott. It's 6 for 10. It's not as much as what we would normally see from Navy, which, you know, it depends on the games too that we've seen, and they've been in some high scoring games as well. This is probably designed for two reasons, and I'll let you chime in about this too. Stop the clock and get the punt off, or stop the clock and make a decision to go for it.
Well, I think they're stopping the clock and trying to make a decision here. Like you said, Tom, you're down under 3 minutes left. What chance do they really have? I'd be very surprised if Air Force gets the ball back and starts to throw it like they did on the last series. I mean, they had a chance to really run this clock out, and now the weather's starting to become a factor. The rain's starting to pick up. So it's even more difficult now to throw the football. So I guarantee you they're talking about a go for it 4th down play right here, and this is the ball game.
Well, on 4th down and about 1/2 yard, I mean, this is a gettable 1st down for the midshipmen with the way their offense usually runs.
You see Paul Johnson right there. He's talking to his lineman right there. So I don't know if they're scheming something right here. Looking at big number 63, Antron Harper. A little discussion with him.
Air Force with 3 timeouts left, as we saw, 2 for Navy.
Navy football will be back in action right here at
So they have the opportunity, if they get the 1st down here, to not only work the sidelines if they choose, but also to use the timeout.
Well, they could also be talking about, hey, we get it here. Here's what we're going to do in this next series. You 3 receivers, you be ready to go. I want you guys right here, right by me here on the sideline. We pick up the 1st down. We're going to.
Who has passed the ball 8 times today is 6 for 8. Let's see what he does. 35. Owens.
That incompletion gave Navy an extra timeout. They still have 2 of them.
45 seconds left to play. The handoff goes to the fullback, and he gets maybe 2 or 3, and now time continues to be of the essence.
Yeah, that's a surprising call right there. Now you got to burn one.
A gain of maybe 1 by Matt Hall. It'll be 2nd down and 9. So now 2nd down at 9. Time now for the Volkswagen drive of the game, and it's got to be the last drive. Reggie Campbell was huge during this drive, Scott.
Oh, take a look at Owens right here. He's going to bust out of containment right here. This is the one where Overton Spence is with the wind knocked out of him. After the big pass play to Campbell, they straight quick to the weak side of the field on the option. Nice job blocking downfield. We got a tie ball game, Tom.
40-yard run by Reggie Campbell. Over 60 yards of total offense on that drive. By the way, we talked about Eberle, the place kicker for Air Force. Well, Joey Bullen is the place kicker for Navy. This is his 1st year on the varsity.
Yeah, and you take a look at the huddle right here, and the one guy that Paul Johnson just singled out was talking to was Mr. Tomlinson right there, the guy that has touched the ball twice today and has accounted for over 114 yards. So look for him to possibly be involved in a big play to set up a field goal here.
Air Force has lost 3 consecutive games. Navy lost its first 2 to begin the year. Won last week 28-21 against Duke. And now they're trying to pull one out before overtime with 35 seconds left to play. Joey Bullen, who is the place kicker for Navy, has made 2 field goals this year. His long is 39 yards. He made a 20-yarder earlier in this ball game. Well, they are not within his range, although he says, give me something within 53 yards and I can make it. I don't know if Paul Johnson will have that confidence right now. They need to get to the 22 to at least match his long. On 2nd down, the handoff goes to Hall again. Right up the middle to about the 31-yard line. Maybe he does have confidence. And now a timeout is called I believe, by the midshipmen. And that'll be their final timeout.
2 plays to the fullback, right up the middle.
Well, we've seen that play spring the fullback at times.
That's what we talked about. It's like they stuff it, and then boom, then they spring one.
They're at the 31-yard line right now.
I'd be shocked if they hand it off again. I don't know. From what we've seen, though.
Navy with no timeouts left. Air Force with 3 timeouts left. And I said Bolin has said that if I'm within 53 yards, I have the leg to do it. I can make it. But as we also said, he's only attempted 3 field goals in the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah, but he does have the wind at his back. If you look at the flags flipping at the top of the stadium, I know it's not very reflective down on the field with the ones that are on the actual goalpost, but up here, up high, it's blowing pretty hard for us right to left, and that favors Navy.
Well, the rain has been falling for a couple of days, and the wind has been churning for the last couple of days. Tropical Storm Tammy, the remnants of that has gone right up the East Coast. 3rd down, and Navy needs to get to the 25-yard line for first down.
You got to take a shot here to go for the first down. Let's not forget, it stops the clock.
Right.
If you do elect to kick the field goal, you do have time to get your unit out there.
And Brian Hampton, Scott, number 3, has come out as the quarterback. Oh, no, excuse me. Bolin was out to try to attempt the field goal.
Yeah, they're kicking.
My bad. Hampton was coming out as the holder. He is the holder on the field goal attempts. And don't forget, last year, Navy won the game when Jeff Blumenfeld nailed a field goal at the end of the ball game to win it for the midshipmen. It was a 30-yarder. And Fisher DeBerry not only called 1 timeout, he called a couple timeouts. Here's Bolin, the sophomore from St. Simons Island, Georgia, went to the same high school as Kwame Brown. He said it was like watching a rock star when Kwame Brown was playing basketball at Glenn Academy. As we said, this is his first year in the varsity. Last year he played for the sprint team, was a first-team all-collegiate selection. And he's trying to keep as cool as he possibly can as he will come on to attempt, at least we assume he will, because that's the way the formation was before. He will attempt, it's got to be, Scott, about a 48-yard field goal.
Well, I tell you who's more nervous than him is the holder. I mean, you're dealing with rain conditions. You're dealing with a wet, sloppy ball. He's got to get the snap. He's got to catch it. He's got to get it down. He's got to get the strings pointed towards the goalpost.
Bowen, who came to the Naval Academy to try to play soccer, was cut from the soccer team, went to Paul Johnson, and Paul said last year when he was a freshman, you know, we've got too many kickers right now. And he said, why don't you go out for the sprint team? So he ran from his conversation with Paul Johnson over to the sprint football field, made that team, and now he's on the varsity, but he is not going to get an opportunity here to try to connect that field goal. They pulled Joey Bolin out, and Lamar Owens is back on the field.
Yeah, I think you got to try and pick up the first here and get him at least 6-7 more yards.
Scott, they need to get to the 25 for the first down. Owens and the quarterback keeper runs right into a wall. Aaron Sheener, number 50, stops him to the 29-yard field goal. And now, as the clock winds, they need to get Bolin on very quickly to attempt the field goal because they have no timeouts left. It will be a 46-yard field goal attempt with 7 on the clock, and it winds down. Hampton the holder, Williams the snapper. It's a good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is goal!
You gotta be kidding!
Wow! Seconds left on the clock. There are a couple of flags down on the field. The mids came storming down from the stands as
These guys are excited.
That kick went through. 46-yard field goal made by Joey Bolin.
And I tell you what, Tom, he was cool as a cookie.
Wow,
I'm looking at the clock. His entire unit was almost panicking. They hurry up and got set. He took his time. He lined it up. Man, he took it down to 1 second left.
Yeah, 0.4 of a second left. Here's the replay of the field goal.
Oof.
That is as true gets, and he had room too.
You can see why Carson Bird, the Air Force defender, got hurt there. He laid out to try and block it, and at the same time he gets hit from the other side by Sutton. What a kick.
They probably had no idea who Joey Bullen was last year when he was a freshman. Well, if they don't know him now, as Scott said, they know him all over the Annapolis campus.
Yeah, he's BMOC tonight.
Tonight, tomorrow, probably the rest of the week. And Fisher DeBerry's squad for the second straight year watches Navy connect on a field goal to take the lead. They wound up winning it last year. Now it's 27-24. And there is some time left on the clock, as you see there. And Bullen is going to have to calm himself down and kick it off from the 20-yard line because of the penalty. The celebration penalty moves the ball all the way back to that spot.
Yeah. You definitely do not want to kick it deep and in the air. You want to kick a squibber right here, allow one of those big guys up front to grab it and then make the tackle.
Just bounces it across midfield. And it will be picked up by one of the up men, Julian Madrid, one of the backup free safeties. And Air Force is just tossing it all around. It's still loose on the carpet, still in the air, and that is it. Navy was down by 10 for a good portion of this ball game. Well, they climbed back, they tied it, and then they won it on a 46-yard field goal. As we mentioned, the last 15 Commander-in-Chief trophies have been decided with this ball game. And Navy winning at 27-24. They take a leg up on Air Force and Army to retain that trophy for a third consecutive season.
Oh, and you have to give Navy credit today because so many times you could pick them in the first quarter, second quarter, third, and even here down the stretch, it seemed like the deck was stacked against Paul Johnson's team, but they hung in there. They pushed through adversity. You got to question some of the play calling down at the end, but he knew what he was doing all along. They're setting it up for the field goal. And what drama, what a way to end this football game. And you could see the midshipmen wanted to storm the field, but then the heads started to hold everybody back. And then what a great day for the city of Annapolis today.
Well, it's a great day for the Naval Academy, getting a chance to play here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in front of a record crowd. It's now time for the Air Force
attention to the
alma
field
mater.
for the playing of Air Force alma mater, followed by the playing of the blue and gold.
Are you a runner?
27-24 is the final score. Navy defeats Air Force at a 46-yard field goal. We'll be back with much more from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. For over Air Force, our serious player of the game is, well, let's take a look. Williams the It is Joey Bull in a 46-yard game-winning field goal. He sent it down on the field with Sheehan Stanwyck.
How much does it mean to beat the Air Force today?
It means it was the biggest game of the season yet so far. You know, I mean, we won. We haven't won yet, the Commander-in-Chiefs, but you know, we're on our way to another CIC, you know, trophy, and you know, it's just one more step closer to a bowl game, and it was huge.
You've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. What does it mean?
Oh, it was just it was my dream to get that opportunity and finish the way that I did.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy it. Thank you.
All right, Sheehan. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was amazing. 2 field goals. He had 1 made in his career. It's been a short career coming into this ball game, but a money kick to win it for Navy. It's the second time in as many years that Navy has defeated Air Force thanks to a field goal. So the final score, it is Navy 27 and Air Force 24. We want to thank everybody who helped along today. Our CSTV crew, they did a great job. So much going on. For Scott Zolak and for Sheehan Stanwyck, I'm Tom McCarthy. For more, log on to CSTV.com, the ultimate destination for scores, news, highlights, and analysis. This has been a presentation of CSTV, College Sports Television, #1 in college sports. So long from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis. It's time to go to New York and Game Tracker Live.